Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 4. We have a guest. Again. It's exciting. Before we introduce our guest, Shan, would you like to explain your background?
I forgot it was gonna show up. If I'm being honest,
it is gonna it is showing up.
Yeah. So the Eagles won the Super Bowl on Sunday. If I haven't said it before, I'm from the Philly area, so it's a big day for me. I could probably talk about it more later, but this is the background I had for the listening party last Tuesday because it was the Tuesday before the game, and I came in all Eagles stuff and just went go Birds. So yeah, that's what this is. Go Birds. Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champs.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Harry, would you like to explain your attire?
Yeah. I don't know why I said yes because my intention was to say no. So I'm wearing like the same suit I wore for graduation when I graduated university last year because I have one joke and I used that same joke in the watch party. But I mean, I thought, hey, the Eagles, they're the superb Owls. The Eagles are the new Owls. They've won. Good for them. I'm happy for you.
Yep.
Hell yeah. I love American footy as it is. You use your hands. Brilliant. Love that.
We defeated the evil. Essentially.
Oh, wow.
We defeated the evil. The one team everyone else is sick of. We did it for America, really. I think everyone should thank us instead of disrespecting us.
Thank you, Shan. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
personally for the Eagles
You're
winning.
welcome.
Before we get canceled, I will
that's as far as I was going with that.
Leave it there. Quick housekeeping. Thank you to everybody who was giving comments about the lovely 1440p hype and seeing us all in even clearer forms, at least on YouTube. And also thank you to the people who were thanking us about our colorful audio descriptions for our audio only listeners. We're going to have a rough time a little bit today because we're going to have lots of visuals to show.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to be creative with the descriptions.
Yeah.
And with that, we have a guest. Mark, the floor is yours, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, it's me, Mark, from Crafted Campaigns. How the devil are you?
I think we're all good, Mark.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've definitely had enough sleep last night, so I'm totally not
Same.
unhinged at this minute. Yeah.
So we usually ask everybody the same questions, Mark. So we'll ask the same questions of you, which is, firstly, how did you find and become involved with this crazy Natural Six thing?
Originally, I don't really remember. I found them on the Kickstarter via various social media channels, being involved, just watching D&D of all types and descriptions. So I was like, this looks cool. Recognize this person, Ethelwald from The Last Kingdom. Gotta back this. Oh, and look, it's Doug Cockle from The Witcher. Oh, and some other really cool people as well, because I didn't really know much about all of them at that time. And then as I read more about the Kickstarter, then obviously there was the stretch goals and them wanting minis, and I was like, oh, this could be interesting. And it just happened that Tabletop Dominion, who we know quite well, were already in conversations with them about some cool stuff, and they dropped our name to Aoife, and then Aoife just struck up a conversation about what we could do, and it just all sprung from there, which was extremely lucky and wonderful all at the same time.
Very cool. Very cool. So obviously you had been watching D&D actual play stuff before Natural Six then.
Yes.
So what is your love affair or hatred with D&D and tabletop in general?
It's definitely not a hatred. Definitely not a hatred. My initial introduction to D&D was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons back when, just short of 30 years ago, shall we say, when I was at school. Just played with a group of friends. We all went our separate ways, so the D&D love turned into more of a tabletop wargaming, Warhammer, that kind of thing, and I always enjoyed the painting more than the actual playing, although the amount of grey that is in here would belie that rumour. And as we had kids and son got older, our eldest son, he's mid-teens now, he started to get into the D&D and was like, oh, okay, I want to get back into playing it. But I'm playing video games and doing this. And then eventually, pandemic, lockdown, all these kind of things. And we just started to play online with a few people that we knew. And then I picked up my first 3D printer maybe 2.5 years ago. So, I could just print some stuff, and then I got some more, and then I got some more, and then in the end, I very rarely play, and I now print things for other people to play. So, yeah. We still play once a week on a Saturday night, although through family and online, so that's still quite cool.
Very cool. Very cool. So I'll ask the natural question, which is, how did the 3D printing and the crafted campaigns, how long have you been doing the business now, and was that something you always wanted to do, or?
No. It was one of those things. Before I got into the 3D printing, I used to do streaming on the side, so video game streaming. That used to be a partner with Mixer before that all folded.
Mm-hmm.
So we then went over to Twitch, and it just dwindled a little bit, and we got more into the D&D. So as the streaming went down, the D&D went up. I was like, right, I'll just buy a printer so we can print our own minis and do our own thing, so we don't have to buy them. And then as all these hobbies turn, they just progress even more. So we ended up getting another printer, and then another printer, and then we got some of the FDM printers, and now I've got 4 resin printers and about 7 FDM printers, and it just escalated. I discovered that you could not just buy the STLs to print minis, you could actually buy the licenses to sell them as well. And I was like, oh, this could be good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, now it's everywhere, basically. So.
Very cool. So you've been how long you been doing it for then?
I think we're coming up to 3 years on Etsy in sort of May, June time.
Okay. Very cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you all.
That's really cool.
It's really
Yeah, it's
fun.
one thing to turn the hobby into a business. It's another thing to keep it going long term, right? Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I've got a question.
Go, Harry.
Because overall, in your whole 3D printing kind of thing, what's your favorite thing you've printed?
He took my question. Oh no.
I got you, Shan. Now you got to think of a different one.
Oh no.
Favorite thing I've printed.
That you can talk about.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes it easy. Probably.
Oh
This
my
guy.
gosh.
Wow.
We need 14. We're in 1440p now, so we need 1440p audio descriptions as well. Audio
This-
description. This is
Is a Titan Tarask.
wow. Oh my gosh.
From Rescale Miniatures, who designed this one. Originally designed to print in resin, but when you've got FDM printers, you like to experiment. So I thought I will give it a try and print it in filament, and it is just so light and very durable as well. So, and you can, I don't know if that picks up on the mic, but
It definitely does.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
It's very spiky. Be careful.
Oh, it is. It is. The resin I use as well is quite durable. So when it prints spikes, I occasionally get injuries.
So for the uninitiated, Mark, what is the difference between FDM and resin?
Resin comes as a liquid form. So basically, the resin is a UV polymer.
Okay.
So it comes in little bottles. There you go, bottles, and then you stick that in the vat on the printer. There's a little screen, UV screen at the bottom, and it just does it layer by layer, just sticking to each layer as it goes. With the FDM printers, that comes as a spool of well, basically a biodegradable plastic. So it's like a large fishing wire, best way to describe it. And as that feeds into the machine, that melts it down on through the nozzle, and that basically draws the shape and then adds the layers to it. So yeah, the filament FDM is a lot cheaper than the resin. The resin takes a while to get perfected, but once it's done and set, then yeah, it's a lot easier, I think. The cleanup process is a lot more involved, though, for that.
Great.
If that helps.
Cool.
I have
How-
a printer. I haven't used it in a long time. I
You
would
have a
like to
printer,
make
Shan.
something. Yeah, I was very bad at it though. Like the couple things I tried to print didn't work out, and I don't know if it was like a temperature regulation thing or like I don't know, because I'm looking at it right now. It's covered by my old green screen to protect it from when the cats were here because I didn't want them messing with it. But yeah, I was told maybe it was like temperature regulation. It was maybe something because it's in the basement. It's cold down here.
Yeah.
And depending on what time of year, could be a little more wet or a little more dry. But I guess like if I could come up with a fun question, I guess it would kind of be, do you have any advice for somebody who would like to like, not even me, because like I already know most of my problems, but do you have any advice for someone who would want to like, get a printer? I think mine's the filament, so I do know that much.
Okay.
But anyone who would want to start printing some stuff, any kind of advice maybe they wouldn't think of or something that they need to know before they started?
Do some research first,
Yeah.
especially with the resin, because with the resin you're dealing with a lot of hazardous chemicals to start with. Basically, if you've got to make sure you got all the correct PPE, your goggles, your respirator. Make sure it's done in an environment where you've got basically open a window, or you've got an extractor, or try not to do it in the house if it's your resin printing, because it's still, I don't know how long it's been around for, but I think it's still relatively new. So obviously with anything like this, there's fumes produced, so you just got to be careful, especially when you're cleaning it as well. You've got your water washable things out there, but most of it is cleaned with isopropyl alcohol. So your general 99% proof. So you're keeping these things around. So you've got to make sure they're all safe, stored well, that you're looking after yourself with your gloves, and just try not to get any where it shouldn't be. And with the filament ones, the FDM ones, research is good for the fixing of the issues, because you can get a lot more issues with the FDM printing, and it's a lot of the troubleshooting. So just talk to people that do it. I mean, if anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot them at me. I think there's a couple of other people that are in the Nat6 Discord that do all sorts of different printing as well. So just ask. That's how I learned. I asked. I asked people. I did my research online. I corroborated different advice as well, just to make sure you don't get it from one source, because what one says somebody else could disagree with. So yeah, lots of different Discords and lots of different. So there's no one piece of advice I would give. It's more just do your research via many different sources.
Do your homework. Yes,
Yes.
you're
RTFM.
You're bringing back memories of research grade chemicals, Mark. Yeah. Memories that I don't. I'll keep them away. To be out of the lab now.
It's so long as you treat them right, it is safe.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I had the advantage of industrial grade fume hoods while doing any of my stuff with this kind of research grade chemicals.
Kept in a separate building in the garden now, so it's completely out of the
much
house, which is
much
great.
better and easier to handle.
Yeah.
Harry, anything else for Mark?
Oh, I mean, there's the printing side to it,
Yes.
and I'm asking this because I'm really bad at this. There's also like the painting side. There's also like definitely painting minis side of it, that kind of thing. How this? I mean, the giant like Titan Tarask, was it that you held up earlier?
That's the one.
Yeah. Obviously, that's probably a little bit easier to, say, for example, paint if you wanted to paint that because it's like big.
Yeah.
But a lot of these, minis are like really, obviously, really small, like a couple centimeters. I have the like dexterity of absolutely nothing. Oh my gosh, you've put on some audio listeners. Mark has put on some super technical visor display glass from the future. But one thing which I'm wondering is like, how do you even go about like painting something with like such like nice detail at such a small level?
Well, from what's been seen so far, a lot of it is camera trickery because they don't really zoom in that close. So a lot of the paints and the techniques you get nowadays is basically in the priming, and some of the paints are nice and simple. They're either like contrast paints, so as you're painting them on, it will fill in all the recesses and leave the raised edges more prominent. And I'm trying to think if there's any that I can show around here at the moment, but I don't think there is right now, which is a shame. What about this?
You want painted ones or unpainted, Mark?
Painted.
Oh,
just
okay.
to see if there was any, but no. I've got a Matthias.
Ooh.
That's.
Oh, hell yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
Mhm.
doing the
little.
hand to the camera.
Yeah.
Audio listeners.
It's a little
Very cool.
guy
It's a Matthias.
with
Yes.
a
Yep.
sword.
In fact,
Well,
I think I have my box.
When I'm painting up for my own sort of display collection.
The host is gone. Legally, we can do whatever we want for the next like few seconds.
Yay!
But contrast paints are definitely my friend for speed. So you're priming things. Seriously, wait.
I have a box. I'm gonna try not to dox myself. This is a box. Mark knows what's in this box.
Indeed.
Because he sent me this box.
So you may recognize this one. This is Dolly.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
hell yeah.
my window is so small, but I was like, is that Dolly?
So basically, what I do
Ooh.
for priming, it's called zenithal priming. So initially, once the mini's all cleaned up, I will spray it black all over, and then just a light dusting of white, just sort of an angle from the top, so it just coats the raised areas and leaves shadows in the recesses. So then you can just slap on some thinned down contrast paints, and it just, all the highlights and the shades are all done. And
That's very cool.
It's a lot easier for speed. Obviously for their character minis, when I originally did them, I spent a lot more time because I didn't want them to just be basic paint jobs for them. I wanted to be really detailed with lots of time and effort gone into it, basically. Especially with a lot of the filigree on Dolly's horns,
Yeah.
which was really tough to do.
Really time consuming. Yeah.
Do you do those with like incredibly small, like incredibly like fine brushes then?
Very much so, yes.
Oh my
and
gosh.
with the brushes, it's not always just down to the actual size of the brush. As long as you've got a good brush that gets a nice fine tip on it, then half the job's done.
Awesome. Fabulous.
How do you make the choices on color? Do some of the templates and stuff like that have a recommended painting kind of with them, or do you have to kind of imagine yourself or make a plan yourself for how to paint?
Generally, I just go with what I like. If I'm painting for myself, I just go with what I like. But for anything that I've done for the show, it's discussion with Harry.
Mm-hmm.
For the characters, it was easy because I had the artwork to go off.
Artwork was there, yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice and easy. But for any of the minis for the show, Harry literally has everything locked in, so he knows exactly what it wants. It makes it so easy. Because if I'm given free reign, then I can spend far too long trying to think about where I want to go. But because he knows exactly what he wants, then I can just narrow it down straight away. He has so much locked away in there; it's amazing.
Yeah, his ability, I think, to not only kind of the narrative part, but to visualize the world is, yeah, definitely.
Now, there's a few bits and pieces where I've had some influence over, but I don't think anything major.
All the significance of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Anything else, Shan? You want to ask Mark?
No, I think that. Well, I mean, I guess I had another question, but this one's a little like weirder. Were there any was there ever like something you really wanted to print, like you thought it would be so cool and it just could not work for you? Like, was there anything you just had to quit on? I feel like the answer is probably gonna be no because you have so many ways to do it. But I figured, was there any like, what's your white whale? You know, like what could you not get?
Anything I've designed.
Look at all of this.
Yeah, because to be fair, I don't do the designs for the minis. They're all licensed ones that I purchase because I'm just not that sort of artistic for sculpting things like that. If it comes to your Hero Forge, you know, Eldritch Foundry, other mini designers are available, obviously. They're the two main ones that I know of. Then I can do stuff like that because that's got the tools and the assets there for you. At the moment, a scaled up version of Dolly because it keeps failing. But
Rip.
I don't know yet because I will try until I get it right.
Until you get it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain things you just simply cannot do, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've not managed to broaden my horizons to think that far yet. A lot of the things I try to print with resin, you have to have everything supported so it doesn't fail. So if something doesn't work one way, I'll try it a little bit, especially when it comes to coming on my own supports for things. But I'm lucky that most of the licenses that I pay for, all of the minis come pre-supported, which makes life so much easier. It really does.
Cool.
Again, that is another art form in itself, learning how to support the minis to print them.
it's something you
good
don't
bit of
think
architecture.
about, right? Yeah.
But I will get there, and if I do get there, I'll let you know which one it was that I failed and I couldn't do.
I'm always just fascinated because, like, I know it's one of those kinds of techs and like things that, like, eventually you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
But also sometimes they can just be so, like, my first print was like super simple, and it took me like quite a few tries to figure out what was going wrong with it. Again, it was the temperature thing, but it's like it's one of those things where some things can just get so complicated and detailed that I wonder if some things are just like really difficult to get.
Yeah.
And like, you know, but I mean, I saw the craziest one where someone like 3D printed Air Jordans in the colors, and like as they were breaking off the supports and it was coming out, I was like, that's insane that under all that support structure was like a 3D printed sneaker in the colors. So it's just like, it's something I'm like super curious about, if like there's anything that's like, no, not yet kind of things.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But one day I will be defeated. But it is not this day.
Exactly. That spiky boy was scary looking. He's something that looks like he would be very difficult to print.
Yeah, it's a scaled up version as well, because that was another reason I wanted to print it that way, because the resin printers, the ones that I've got, only have so much space within them, although I do have a rather large one now, which was quite handy to get. And I'm printing something which, for somebody, that's part of it. That's
Ooh.
going to be a dragon. So,
Yeah, audio
yes.
description. It's like the body of the body of a dragon, missing
Yeah,
like a head.
basically.
It kind of looks like it connects like it's got like holes and stuff, which feels like it probably connects with like Lego almost.
Yeah, the way they're keyed, how they fit together perfectly.
Ah.
With resin, it's not always perfect because they can warp slightly in the
Yeah.
post-curing process.
Got the magic of glue for that, hopefully.
Yes,
So-
glue and wonderful thing called modeling putty, which fills all the gaps.
And
Oh, lovely.
sandpaper, right?
Sandpaper, yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Cool.
That's very
Any
cool.
other questions for Mark, guys?
No.
I'm gonna ask Mark now what server in Dark Age of Camelot he was on,
Oh God.
And
you're
what-
asking now.
realm he was playing.
Realm, I think it was Albion.
Okay.
Server. I can't
remember.
even remember with research, but I think my favourite was Kobold Reaper, called Raistlin. Funnily enough, that was
Excellent.
my go-to character.
Excellent. I think the UK had their own servers, right?
Sounds about right. Yes. God, I'm casting my mind back. This is before my World of Warcraft days as well. This one, I've tried many MMOs in my time, but yeah,
It was like number 3 for me, I think, because I played original EverQuest, then Anarchy Online, and then moved to Dark Age of Camelot when I had more time in my life.
Dark Age
Yeah.
of Camelot was definitely my first entry into the world of massively multiplayer online role-playing games. And it was such
Sorry to
fun.
be a. So sorry to I'm sorry to ask this question, but as someone whose only RPG MMORPG that I've played is Final Fantasy 14, and I played that in like 2023. What is Dark Age of Camelot? I'm getting a feeling it is an MMORPG, but I have never heard of this game.
It is.
I'm surprised that you haven't.
When
Audio listeners, there's a lot of pained expressions right now.
Not from me.
So so the reason why I'm bringing this up is that on the Serving Cantrip, I think they were asking what is not what your favorite game is, or the game that had the most impact on you, or something like that. Mark, I can't remember what the question exactly was.
It was something along those lines, definitely.
And I said Dark Age of Camelot, and Mark was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
God.
Yeah, it was an early, massively multiplayer game, Harry. Originally came out in 2001. Right
It's not
before I
that
came to the UK, so a long time ago now. And it was unique for the time because it had a sort of a realm versus realm combat system where you there were 3 realms: Albion, Midgard, and
Oh, I was hoping
Hibernian, I think.
That was it. Yes.
Yeah. So and it was all kind of Arthurian legend. So Albion was kind of more the Arthurian knights kind of concept, whereas Hibernian was really Celtic legends, and then Midgar was more Norse mythology. So you'd have and each had their own thing, and you had this sort of realm system. So you had your kind of standard PvE, right, where you go and kill monsters and level up and all that kind of stuff, standard thing. But the really unique thing about it was that each of the realms was also playing against each other at the same time. So it was really that, and that collaborative aspect of going and stealing the other guy's, I don't even remember what they were called, relics, right? Relics.
Yeah.
So you'd go and, siege their castle and take their relic and all of that kind of stuff. So it was for me, the reason why it was so kind of like impactful in my gaming time was it was the first game that really had that community aspect with it. And I have friends still to this day who I played 25 years ago, basically at this point, Camelot with. Yeah.
That's really awesome. That also sounds just really. I mean, that sounds really cool, just as a concept.
It was a very. If you ask anybody in the MMO space, especially those who played Camelot, they're always chasing that dragon for that game that's going to have the same kind of impact.
Yeah.
It was really a Mythic Entertainment kind of had this lightning in a bottle kind of moment with the game. Yeah.
Warhammer Online tried to do something similar.
Yeah. Similar team and similar approach, but yeah, didn't quite.
No, not quite. It was nice, the game, but
weren't able to kind of capture it, capture the lightning in a bottle, unfortunately. I think I still have. I'll try and find it. Maybe I'll bring it out for a follow up episode. I still have my game boxes, I think, here somewhere.
Preston.
Future episode show and tell. I'll try and find them. Right. Shall we talk some Natural Six, guys?
Sure, but there's also one thing which we've forgotten to ask, though.
Go.
Mark, what is your favorite dice?
Oh yeah.
My favorite die.
It can either be your favorite dice that you like or favorite dice that you printed. Hey, keeping with the theme. If you
Look,
can
I
print
tried
dice.
that. I tried. Oh, I've printed a few dice. I've even polished one to such a nice.
Oh,
No, I don't. I was thinking, are they over there?
Mark is looking in the mini library.
He is researching.
No, I don't have them to hand, unfortunately. But yes, I have printed dice before. But my favorite is just the D20.
Absolute classic.
Good
It's a
choice.
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I
choice.
also think last time I asked like favorite dice number, and I don't remember why I did that, but like favorite number, I guess.
Just curious.
Gotta
Just
keep the
favorite
theme.
number
Just a
in
curious little
general.
guy.
Yeah, favorite number in
5.
general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a simple 5.
5.
Very close to 6, but sorry, 6, 5.
Classic.
5.
Every time.
It's in the middle.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the digits. We love it. Shout out to the number
Excellent.
5.
Right on. Cool. Then quick review of a last episode of ours, I think. Lots of nice comments from people. Thank you for those. I worked in those people who sent me questions for Mark privately. I have a few more questions that people sent me for Mark regarding specific things, which we will talk about later from specific episodes. And I think that's it. So thank you for everybody who has engaged on the YouTube comments, sent me messages on Discord, etc. I'm very thankful, and thanks very much for Kenneth for coming on last time. So
Thank you, Kenneth.
He,
Right.
he
Sorry, Kenneth.
he needs that after after
The last episode.
the last
Oh
episode.
boy. Yep. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Yes, he does. Right. I think we can zip into the news. I'm gonna flip over to our lovely
Transition.
This
transition.
is the traffic.
And
Hello, me.
your Go Birds looks excellent, even on the
Yay.
other scene, Shan.
Yay.
So
I'm glad it's
I
coming
will-
out so
Oh, there's
crisp.
a Ben Starr photo there.
Yeah, you didn't know about that?
I did not, because or maybe I just scrolled down
Oh.
quickly past it. We're gonna scroll
Benjamin
down
Mark.
quickly past that again.
Audio listeners, you don't need to know.
You don't need to know. I mean, if you've watched the merch reveal video, you've seen the clip. It's a picture of something he does in a clip in there, and like you'll know.
You'll know.
Like I don't need to tell you. You'll know.
One of the many moments.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
capital M.
So, we had episode 22. We are going to talk about episode 22 specifically a little bit later on, so we will leave that. Maybe the most significant thing is, oh boy, did everybody listen to me when I said I put out the klaxon call, and said, "Hey, I'll be disappointed in us if we don't sell the merch out before the time." And oh boy, did we sell the merch out!
Sold all of it.
Like 28 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, Harry,
Yeah.
you've got
Let me find it. Let
You
me find the
sent-
screenshot.
the screenshot, right?
Yeah. So for context, for reality enjoyers, it's like audio listeners and video watchers, but
For people who
Or for
have
both.
jobs.
yeah, for people who weren't there at the time, on 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. On the Friday when the merch store came out, because Doc had promised it in the last podcast episode, I was like, well, guess we are actually just hopping into the voice channel.
Yeah, we had a
and live
great.
reacting. Yeah.
We had about 12, 14 people at peak. It was
yeah,
it was
in
cool.
the Holly
Everybody
appreciation
was-
chat.
It was the Holly appreciation chat.
Yeah, it was a live watching the merch store like sell out reaction.
Yeah.
Where we just kind of like refreshed the My Shopify page, and it's like it was something like the first time when the 2XLs ended up selling out on like the t-shirt and like the beanies. That was when I was like, I'm gonna get up the stopwatch, and I was timing being like we were just doing speed run splits at that point, and we were just refreshing it, being like XLs have sold out, smalls have sold out, the white t-shirts they've sold out, and it's just that was wild. I've got the exact
Harry.
stats.
I'm gonna put it up on screen
Yeah.
for everybody.
So you gotta add 10 minutes for this because I wasn't recording it for the first 10 minutes. But yeah, 28 minutes and 59 seconds. That flat from point of opening to point of selling out. We did it. We did it, Reddit. Or we did it, Discord.
Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite phrase to say, but it's technically not accurate. I love to just say off the cuff with no context, like "Thank you, America," or like things like that. We did it, America, even if America's not
I
involved.
mean, it seems more like we're sorry, America.
we did it.
Yeah, and more like we're sorry, America.
We did it,
considering that-
Reliquie.
Yes.
Yes, that's
There we
it.
go.
Perfect.
We
We
did.
Because
Did it, Reliquie.
yeah, 4 p.m. GMT, which is like, what time was that again for
It
you?
was 4
Shan?
p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is the West Coast.
Was it?
No.
Oh,
It
sorry, 4
was-
p.m. 11.
It was
11 a.m.
11 Eastern and 8 a.m.
11 a.m.
Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
you
sorry,
got
my
me all
brain
twisted
was-
around because you said 4, and so my brain went 4.
4 minus
No, it was
5, yeah.
11. Yeah, 11 a.m.
Yeah, it was.
That's morning.
It was. Yep.
Were you
I had work.
were you surprised, Mark?
Yes and no, because of how EGX went for them. They said that was a lot more than they expected. So I expected they would sell out, so I was at work, but I was lucky enough to snag some stuff. It was really weird because I had it all set, ready for 4 o'clock, and then somebody took me in to an office for an impromptu meeting at like 5 to 4, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna miss
Oh
out.
no.
But it finished. It was all over in 10 minutes, and then I was on the phone. One of these, because I knew my eldest would want some as well because he's a massive Nat 6 fan as well.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So I managed to snag one of each, and the timestamp for the receipt, I've just looked it up here, 4:05 p.m. So
let me see.
I was lucky enough to get one of each, but also I'm going to lose half of it to him now.
Spreading the love.
Yeah, basically.
Hell
Shan
yeah.
got some goodies, I believe.
I did. I'm pulling up the email now because now I'm curious as to what my.
Yeah.
Why aren't you pulling up my email, Google?
I think
That's your whole
that
job.
Harry said that there were like order numbers on these.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Since search is not working, I'm just there. We go. So I was 10:33.
Wow.
I was 11:01.
Ooh,
Wow.
Right under the gun.
my gosh.
But like I went in with a goal. So like essentially I said, you know what, thank you to Andrew of the T. Like he had gotten me the stuff from EGX. And so I was like, I can always, if I want an extra shirt or an extra beanie or whatever, I can wait till another drop. I don't need it right now. So like go birds, but also go natural 6. So like I had the beanie, the pin, the shirt. So I was like, you know, I can wait for that. Yeah. So I like literally, I went in, I wanted the, and also because I need a 2X shirt, like for graphics. I can rock a XL sometimes, but if I want a graphic, I need like a 2X or larger. So I needed to get in and out. So I went in, I got the band tour shirt because of all the dates on the back. I was like, I need that because the watch parties, I need that. So I got one of those. I got an extra The Web is Wide pin because I collect pins, so I wanted a second one. And I got the patches. I would have tried to get, like I said, other stuff. I said in the watch party, and I genuinely mean it, I'm glad I didn't go for a second beanie. I'm glad I didn't go for a second shirt because that all sold out.
It was gone
And
yeah, really quickly.
I could have, like, the way I got in and out, I probably could have gotten something, but so many people like managed not to get what they want. And I was like, I'm kind of glad all I wanted was like a backup, like all I really wanted was a backup pin. And I told myself to wait for the other stuff because like it all sold out. And it's like people who weren't lucky enough to get Andrew to buy them stuff at EGX can now get that merch. And now I can just wait for the next drop or the drop after to get other stuff. But I wanted to at least try and get like the limited stuff from this drop. That was the goal. That was the plan. And especially now that I'm going to PAX East, now I have a new shirt to rock at PAX East. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. What did you get, Harry?
So because I am very much on an indie developer's budget, which translates to I don't have like any income coming in right now. I luckily I got the beanie and the stuff that was sold at EGX. So I was in there. I was also in there with a plan of just like, boom, I'm getting Newly Dead limited edition t-shirt, getting Newly Dead iron-on patch sets. Those are gonna sit. That one's gonna sit nicely in my room because I'm too scared to iron anything onto my stuff, which is ironic considering people who've been.
You're a professional ironer. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. But I mean, the Newly Dead t-shirt. I mean, we talked about it previously, but just please keep doing the band tour dates on the back. It's an incredibly
So
good idea,
cool.
and it's
so
very
cool.
very fun.
Yeah, it's very unique, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the t-shirts themselves. I mean,
They're
they're comfy.
nice.
Source, the previous one is comfy, and that design on the front is really neat. I'm really interested in seeing what they are gonna have next for the
Pajamas.
different.
We can only
Did I
hope.
just hear
knows?
something?
No, I
knows?
don't know.
What
I
was
don't
that?
know. I'm just
A ghost?
hoping.
Morgan?
Pajamas. The pajamas. We need them.
Quickly.
I would also like the pajama, but I don't think they'll ever
Don't
sell the
worry.
pajamas in my size. So it's like that's a pipe dream of mine.
Alex and Holly probably aren't listening to this, so
Don't. He will not catch me again.
He's
He
gonna
will not
ca-
catch
he's-
me slipping. He
He's
will
gonna
not.
catch Harry slipping instead.
We already
Hello.
had a hee hee ha ha together at the watch party. Me and Alex, like a quick hee hee ha ha together. I don't want him to catch me slipping. Also,
Not
I forgot.
again.
I gave them a tip as well. I was
Oh,
like,
that's
have,
cool.
have some more money.
Have
Take
some
Hell
more
yeah.
the
money. Yes, tips were available.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you wanted to give them a tip. I forgot that part because it's not listed
Yes.
as an item.
I can relate to Mark, as I have discussed here. My daughter loves clacks, even though she probably shouldn't. And she loves. I don't. At the moment, she doesn't have the attention span to watch the episodes all the way through, but she
I get that.
really loved the recap video. So thanks to everybody for that. And yeah, she really likes Alex, the Lemon Man.
Lemon man.
She always says, "Hey, there's the Lemon Man, the Lemon Man."
Lemon man.
How did assuming it's Ben, presumably is a lemon man, yeah?
No,
No,
Alex
who's
is the
the
Lemon
lemon
Man.
man?
Alex.
Alex is the lemon man. Wait, so
Yep.
she's seen the lemon advert then?
She has seen the Lemon advert.
Yeah.
In fact, she has done her own rendition of the Lemon advert.
Okay.
Her and I had
wild.
some fun with
Bless
green.
her.
Her and I had some fun with green screen. You can go on the Discord. Her and I had some fun with the green screen and lemons, and she has a very cute rendition of Alex's catchphrase from the Lemon ad read. Yes.
Bless
That's
her.
fantastic.
Cool. I will go back to our.
I did also have one more question actually, because Mark kind of brought up
Go
something interesting.
Go for it. Go for
while
it,
you're
Harry.
while you're scrolling past the sus Ben picture.
Yep.
Drop 2. Obviously, I mean they Holly's said that they're already thinking about like drop 2 and the other drops, that kind of thing. Mark's already suggested pajamas, but what's one item that you think would be cool to do in a drop? Hey, if Holly's listening and she's making notes,
Oh, boy.
this is market research. What do we want to see?
Oh, mugs.
That would be
Okay.
good. Yeah, a mug.
Tankard.
Tankard. Yes.
Yes, I actually would get those because, like, it's fun to.
I have a lovely one I got from EGX.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Harry? What's your?
But I should have had an answer before I asked the question.
Well, you think about
yeah.
it. Shan clearly has an idea of something that she'd like to see.
I'm so infinitely curious what she was plotting there. I think a keychain would be cool.
Keychain?
Like
Okay.
a nice keychain, because like I was bummed I didn't like Andrew was trying to get me some of the limited stuff from the Kickstarter and we like just missed it. Like, so it doesn't need to be like the coin, but if they were to do a coin related keychain or some like prop related item, like a mini of, not like a character mini, but you know what I mean, like an object mini thing.
Can I potentially like take yours and double up on it and we
Go
can
for
combo
it.
our
Yeah,
answers?
because I'm
Go for
having
it.
trouble conceptualizing. So go ahead.
Because I've been thinking like, I mean, this one's a long shot. Dice are fun. So if they ever did natural 6 dice, it's like, okay, but what would they do with the natural 6 dice? Because the metal ones, they've got kind of like specific about those. How would you do those differently? So what I'm thinking, you have either one of two options. Either dice, but are there like the episode 2 orbs,
Ooh,
like the orbs from episode 2,
yeah.
or at least the circular kind of ones are that you can roll. Or here's what I'm thinking, because how many dice are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an inconvenient number. We can figure out whatever number 7 would be. Maybe drop one of the dice. Who knows? But at least on each of the 6 dice, you have like a micro mini. Like there's like these really nice dice that have like, you know, like a little rubber duck inside them. I think Ben actually got given one of those. You put the minis of each of the characters, super micro-sized, inside them. So you've got like, you know, you've got, I don't know, like an Elo and D6, for example. And, you know, each of them, they're kind of maybe be eclectic. There will be like different colors or something like that. Hey, maybe what you do is, if you're thinking production, you like get a whole bunch, you basically, it's kind of randomized. So you print, 3D print? I don't know. You produce all of the different dice for each of the different like characters in that kind of set. But then when you ship them, you basically scramble which dice you get. So you will always get one of the different things, but you know, whether you get a, like say, I don't know, a Kelnus D20 or a Kelnus D9 or a Kelnus D6. Okay. We're replacing that's what we're doing. Replacing one of these dice. Don't matter which, one of these dice gets replaced by a D9. Because they do exist. You can get those. But there's my pitch.
I don't know if here we're going to if Doug is watching. We're going to get you a D9, Doug. Don't worry.
You're going to get too many D9s.
I do have something.
Go, Shan.
I want either a long sleeve shirt or a crew neck of this.
I am partial to
Agreed.
a long sleeve T-shirt.
Like I love them for sitting at home and layering and things like that. So like, and I have too many sweatshirts, but a long sleeve shirt that'll get you a long way. So I'm leaning more towards wanting a long sleeve shirt, maybe a black with a white, something like that. Or I'll take a white too. Like I don't trust myself. I stained this the first time I wore it. It did come out, but like the first time I wore it, I was pouring soup into something and I got splashed. It was very betrayal.
I think Mark was already, for audio listeners, Mark was already cosplaying the obvious one, which is a hoodie.
Yeah, a hoodie. A baseball cap.
Yes.
I'm gonna go a step further, and I will throw this here on screen.
In prototype already.
I think that one of these babies. So I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce it in Japanese. But
Sukajam.
these kind of tour jackets in the kind of spirit of the band jacket. Shan will know these a bit as the varsity jackets that will be from
But
most high school sports in North America. You will have one, but they'll be more cottony. These ones are slippery,
we use a
so
thicker,
you could do
like felt-ish more material on ours.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
I'm
about. They're just made with a
assuming if I
different
click
material.
This one here, does it gonna show me what a so that's like what a varsity jacket kind of looks like.
Yeah.
So I'd love a Natural Six jacket.
Yeah, a jacket
personally.
would be cool.
But that's also a much more expensive item to do.
Oh yeah.
So
It's more of an investment.
kind of related for Mark. Mark, if somebody wanted to do like say 100 of something for you, how big of an ask is doing 100 of something? Like
Depends on the size.
okay, yeah. So like
Basically.
100 minis, let's say. Is that a
100
big
minis.
job?
As in regular humanoid-sized minis. Thankfully, no. Now that I've got the bigger printer, printing them, no. Cleaning them up afterwards, yes.
Okay.
So that's the time, because I spend for any orders that I get via the store or Etsy or anything, I spend the time cleaning them up, trying to remove any signs of the support scars or anything like that. So that's the time-consuming bit. Printing and removing supports and then post-processing, that's pretty straightforward. So
Cool.
you could. I don't want to say mass-produce because it's not that type of
Sure.
of printer, because If you've got a lot of them, yes, but you still have to put the effort into actually setting them all off and
Yeah.
cleaning them yourself.
But
and
you
that,
could
so-
imagine, for example, a limited run of certain minis that might be on the store and only available. If
It's possible, depending on licensing and designers and things like that. Yes.
Yeah,
if they got something designed that they owned the design for, absolutely doable.
yeah,
Shout out to any designers out there.
Shout out
cough,
to
cough, cough, nudge, nudge. Yeah,
shout out to 3D STL designers.
very good.
It's
All right.
wild.
Let's
yes.
move swiftly on then to what we've been doing and or playing lately. You want to go first, Mark? What you been up to other than printing minis, or is that all you've been up to?
No, I've been playing some Cookie Clicker.
All right.
Nice.
Just leave that running in the background. Again, eldest influence. This is not how these things should work. It should be me influencing him, not him influencing me. But he gets to spend a lot of time playing video games. So, yeah, it's role reversal nowadays. If I had time, it would definitely be Baldur's Gate 3. And Final Fantasy 16, because I picked that one up recently as well.
Awesome.
Excellent. Excellent. Harry?
Oh, so I've not got much new to report this week. I've still been continuing on with slowly with Metaphor, in that I kind of I didn't realize I was supposed to do one certain optional dungeon after I'd done another. And I'm kind of like, I'm sort of stuck in the trenches. I can't go home because I refuse to have wasted like 4 in-game days. So I'm not going home, but I can't leave, and I'm like, everyone's dying, everyone's complaining, everyone's shouting at me, we need to heal, and I'm like, no, we're going to power on through. Gonna power on through. The weather sucks. Half the combat system doesn't work because the weather sucks, and I know I've done it in the wrong order. Too bad. We're locking in. We're locking in, gang. But outside of that, one fun thing I did yesterday was I took part in my friends over here in Dundee. Shout out to Dundee Fundies, which is the Dundee Smash Bros, Super Smash Brothers that will like get together in tournament that they run every week on a Monday. In the Dundee Uni Student Association, actually, that's where they run it. So that's very fun. I do not play Super Smash Brothers, in that I because my friends like are the ones who like run it. I was like, you know what? I'll give it a go. And I'm learning how to play very slowly. But you know, I was like, as a joke, I was gonna be like, as a joke, I'm just gonna show up one time and then just like enter the tournament and see what happens. Hey, and like we're playing against like people who are like top 25 in Europe at this tournament. I did go 0-6. I was at the bottom, but my goal in that one was to take one single stock off of any player. And I managed to do that, and it was a generational pop off. I was very happy with myself because I had not gotten to that point yet. I've been practicing it for a good couple months, you know, learning how to play the game. It's a lot like driving a car, but instead of like in terms of the foot pedals, but you're using your hands instead. Because like, that's the other thing I've been doing driving lessons. And I keep relating everything in my life to like, it's like driving, in that it's hard to keep your foot in that like one place. It's like the biting point. I've got a case of apparently like basically elephant feet, apparently, which is just, you know, I'm too, you know, too much of like
You've got a
pushing
heavy
it down.
foot, is what you're saying, Harry?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. There you go.
Yeah.
Heavy-footed and heavy-handed.
Hitting the
We
gas.
can
It's
report
alike.
that Kenneth mentioned
Yes,
that
this.
he
Yeah.
passed his
Yes.
driving test
Fastest driving
Hell
test.
with
yes.
flying colors. So,
Shout out to
Go
Kenneth.
Rams.
Congratulations.
Kenneth,
Just
Yes.
for Kenneth, go Rams.
Go Birds and go Kennel.
No,
Go
the
Rams
Rams.
and Birds.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
Right.
The Rams, the only team that almost beat the Eagles this year. Thank you.
That
Okay.
is true. Well, several
Good for
teams
them.
beat the Eagles this year. In fact, 3 of them.
Well-
Yeah.
What ridiculous names do those 3 have? What are the ridiculous names of those 3 teams?
I don't know.
The Commanders is one. Losers.
You got
'Cause
Birds,
it
you got
was
Eagles, you got
17
Rams, you got
'cause
Commanders.
The Eagles were 17-3, right?
Yeah, I think it was the Commanders was one.
It's not an animal.
And then we came and beat them.
Commander Beetle.
Commander.
I'm pulling up their record right now.
In fact, why
So-
were the other ones called the Chiefs?
Well, the Rams came the closest to beating us in the playoffs, I should
Playoffs.
say, because
Uh-huh.
we scored over 100 points in the last 2 games of the season. We absolutely dominated the last 2 teams we played. So that's insane. That's an insane number. It's like 145 points total or something like that. An insane number. So we lost to the Commanders. We lost to the, let's see. I don't like how they do this. They gray out the name of the winner, so it's hard, or the loser, so it's hard to actually read who won. We lost to the Buccaneers and
Okay.
the Falcons.
Yarr.
All right.
No,
Sorry.
wait, that's last year. Hold on. This is so hard to. I hate this. No, that's this year. That is this year. I see it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it now.
Good.
I hate how they organize this. Google, you need to get better. Google, get better. Drop your AI too, because
So-
it's dumb.
Apart from Go Birds, which we have established,
Go Birds.
have you been doing anything else, Shan? Do you want me to bring up your picks?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't think I've done anything else this week. I don't. I think I just like sat at my computer and watched YouTube videos or something. Oh well, it is Oscar watch. I've been doing Oscar watch. We watched Dune Part 2 last night.
Excellent.
So we've watched Conclave, Wicked, Dune Part 2, and Amelia Perez.
There is Shan in all her
So
glory.
yeah, so go Birds. That's me on Broad Street after the game, because the thing is that we all hit Broad Street. It's one of the arterial streets in Philadelphia. It's the one that goes north to south, and so that's me with like thousands of my best friends on the streets. In the background, if you look very carefully, you can see City Hall lit in green. Because the way Philly, so fun fact about Philadelphia, because I love to give fun facts. William Penn founded Philadelphia. William Penn had lived in London during the Great Fire, and one of the things he noticed was that water trucks couldn't get anywhere because the streets were all goofy and silly. So when they started building Philadelphia, they started with a grid system. And so the way it built out is technically Center City is like, the downtown, but William Penn's our new City Hall. William Penn is on City Hall, that's why I said it that way. But City Hall is like smack dab in the middle. So Broad Street leads up and goes past City Hall. So City Hall is kind of in the middle of Broad Street, and then you go around it, and then you have Market Street, which is east to west. So this is Broad, which is north to south. You can see City Hall right smack dab in the middle of the street, lit in green.
Right here.
It went off. The green went off at one point. We were all like, what?
Ooh.
Like you could only see the clock. And so I remember turning to my friend and going, how will we know where to go?
Oh, I like this one personally.
That's my favorite. So this is Bainbridge Street in South Philly. Somebody climbed up there and covered all the letters that it would say birds. So our street signs are green. And so they covered like all the letters that did not spell birds in green. You can still see them. It's not a very good job. But all the letters in white spell birds. And it is so, like, my friend saw it when we were walking home, and we were like, oh my God, look at that. Like, that's probably my favorite graffiti of the night. I saw some really funny graffiti. It was like Go Birds written a lot of places.
Looks like they use contrast paint, to be honest.
Yeah, they used something goofy, because, like, it's funny, too, because you can see when they were doing the eye, it, like, spilled down the light pole.
Down.
Yeah, so it's, like, it's very funny.
Do you want to take a guess at which contrast paint that is, Mark?
Yeah, do you want to try?
Live paint analysis.
Which brand it is?
Maybe we'll find this criminal.
Brand. Ooh, brand. It could be Vallejo.
All right.
Because as you guys know, we're known for climbing poles, so that's why
climbing
that was
poles,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say it's also really. I want to say it's also like very convenient that also there's a W on it, so it's W birds.
Yeah. Because it's West
a win.
Bainbridge. It's
Yep.
it's West Bainbridge Street.
And because it's winners.
Winners.
Yeah.
Big
the
W.
W.
Winners. Yep. We are
Exactly.
the winners.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
The
Harry.
W for the birds.
Cool. Anything
Yeah.
else, Shan, that you want the people to know?
I mean, well, we get a lot of flack. I had to offset some flack in the server. Philadelphia's a great place. We get painted with a bad brush because like people decided some stuff about us. But let me tell you, being on that street that night was the happiest I've been in a long time.
Oh,
It was
that's great.
It
That's
was so great. Everyone, like, there's obviously some goofy people that shouldn't have been out last night or that night, but
There always is.
always is. And that's the thing I want to stress to everyone is like the reason you hear about us is because of a little thing I like to call confirmation bias. Oh, the Philly people are going crazy because Philly is crazy. It's like any city you go to, they do this when they win a championship. I think the difference with Philly is we have a lot of people that actually live in our city. Like a lot of these cities, as you go further west, people don't live in those downtowns. So like they don't like Philly is a pretty small city when it comes to like the downtown main original city. So like a lot of people live down there. So a lot of people were able to flood the streets fairly quickly and get to downtown. It's a super walkable city. I walked like 8 miles that night. Didn't feel like it, but I did. And so like a lot of people are around, a lot of people live in that city. And forgive us, this is only our second Super Bowl. So like the last time it was like so crazy, not that much actually happened. Like a couple bad things did happen, but they were usually people from the suburbs, which I think is really worth pointing out. It's not even Philadelphians, it's drunk kids from the suburbs. But Philly gets a lot of flack. We're one of the poorer major cities in the U.S., historically a very black city. And so there's a lot of things, like there's not a lot of money in this city because most people rent. And so, or like if they own their home, they've owned it historically for a long time. It's been their family for generations. This city gets a lot of flack. We're dirty, we're rude, we don't dress nice. Like this is a blue collar city. It always has been, it always will be. And I think it's not fair to paint us with a brush because everybody thinks we're annoying. Everybody thinks we're bad. Everyone thinks we trash our city. We trash our city. The city's fine. The city was still standing. The cops did their job, whatever. The city did not burn down because we won a championship. And I think, leave us alone. It's a beautiful place. I would die for my country, Philadelphia. The city raised me. My family's from Philly. It is my favorite place in the world. I can't imagine living anywhere else. Go Birds.
We love those birds.
That is Shan, ladies and gentlemen.
Birds.
Mark and I know something living in the north of England about what it means to be tarred with a particular brush.
Mm-hmm.
Harry also knows what that means living in Dundee. It's not exactly a
Tourist
place
destination.
one considers as with
Genuinely,
a lot of
like
historical culture or anything like this, but it's a pretty impressive place.
Genuinely
if you
the
actually go there
first
and talk to
time.
the people.
I'm from the cradle of liberty, and we get so much disrespect. You're welcome for America, America.
The Cradle of Liberty.
That's what they call us, because
That's such a hardcore name.
Liberty Bell, all of that.
Liberty Bell's here. The
All that
Constitution was written here. The Declaration was read here for the first time.
Oh wow.
Like this is where we were the capital of the United States until Alexander Hamilton traded us away to get the South to agree to his financial plan, and it was given to Washington D.C.
Do they talk about that in the
History.
musical? Or...
They do, but not. They don't tell you it's Philadelphia that gets traded away, but they do tell you the story. So the song "The Room Where It Happens" is literally the story of how he got the South to agree to his. It's probably not historically accurate, but it's a telling of how
That is
they.
the gist of it, right?
Yeah, because they had to give the South something because the South would lose out with the financial stuff being run in the North in the cities. So they had to give him something. They gave him the capital of the United States.
Wow.
Yep.
Very cool. I mean, very
History,
interesting.
baby. I love history.
We not only do Natural 6 here, we also do U.S. Constitutional history.
I know a lot of weird fun facts, like a lot.
Shan
This
has
is me.
been
We do a lot of learning.
learning
learning.
on this podcast. Yes.
I love learning about stuff.
I have been continuing on my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth PC playthrough. After getting some abuse from the last episode, I have been playing Alex's game as well. Alex has also been playing.
There are so many.
Alex has also been playing his game on Twitch, which is cool. I also saw, and maybe at some point we will do a 6-pack game night or something like that, or 6-pack plays, maybe. I don't know.
I do have some bad news though, because the Date Everything game right after we recorded our episode
I know,
got
it's a
pushed
bummer.
back to the summer, but Pride Month. It got pushed back to Pride Month, so we still
It's
went.
like it's now June.
Yeah, June.
Yes.
Yep.
I was just
So-
reminded of it when you were talking about game
Eternal
night.
Strands. Yes.
And Eternal Strands, yeah.
The game that I said. Yeah.
You said you would not play it.
I will not play it. Yes, and not because I
Yeah.
don't want to play it, but yeah. So I played it a little bit. I played a little bit of, because somebody recommended it to me, Sworn, which is a little. If you've played Hades, it's like a multiplayer version of co-op version of Hades. So you kind of like go through with a multiplayer roguelike. So yeah, quite cool. Still in early access.
Okay.
And I've got some extra stuff on my wish list added, and I will try in my indie playthroughs. I'm going to try and play through 1,000 Times Resist at some point here soon. Fingers crossed. Get a chance to play it. Yeah, that's it. Harry, are you excited for Monster Hunter?
My
I feel like
So-
this should have been an immediate answer.
no. As in, which one? There's a lot of them.
Well, the new one's coming out.
The new
Oh,
one
good
that's
for them.
coming out.
What was the last one? Monster
Are you
Hunter World?
excited
I
for
feel
the
like
first
Mark will be-
Monster Hunter game?
Mark will
Is
be
that like-
excited for the next Monster Hunter because everyone will be excited about getting minis of the monsters. But
Oh, sorry, because Yombus was like showing the character creator, like making Radiant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that the new Monster Hunter game?
I
Sorry,
believe
there's
so.
too
I
many
believe
of them.
so. Yeah,
There's a lot of
that's
them.
Monster
I
Hunter
still haven't
Wilds. Yeah.
Like, whichever one was
Okay.
I was playing last. Monster Hunter Worlds. I still haven't finished that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So new one will be out. End of
Unfortunately, I don't really play. I've not played Monster Hunter, unfortunately, but
It's okay.
one of my friends does, so he'll be excited,
He'll be excited.
and I'm sitting there being like, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for whatever crossover will inevitably happen with Final Fantasy 14 for it.
Inevitably, yes.
Same, yeah.
And the Witcher movie is out today, I think, on Netflix. So
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a
think
tweet about it this morning.
I've seen some people have been watching it already. So yeah.
Sirens of the Deep.
yes, sir. Cool. All right.
Winds howling.
I think we're ready we've got a special version of our art showcase here because we have Mark with us.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we're gonna go through some of Mark's fantastic work.
And we're going to do some very, very detailed audio descriptions.
We're gonna try our
Yeah, good luck.
best to do some very detailed audio descriptions. I'm gonna get to this, and hopefully I've muted this.
Or
This is
audio
not on-
descriptor. There is an advert currently
This
playing
is
on
not on.
There
YouTube.
is an
This is
advert
not
currently playing.
on the scene just yet. So, I am gonna switch over now, and we are currently looking at episode 1, which is the first set of fantastic stuff that we're gonna talk about with Mark. So I'll get some questions from the audience, people who asked me, Mark, what was it like to do this for episode 1 for such a how like what was that process like?
It was enjoyable, most definitely. And doing the set pieces like this all kind of came from me misreading one of the original emails from IFA because I thought, okay, I'll be able to print some minis, maybe paint them and just send them all, and they'll be able to build them. But it was actually no, it was the bit where it says create the set pieces. I kind of misread that bit a little bit and skipped over it because in my excitement for reading stuff and doing stuff for them, it was like, and then I went back and yeah, I could do that. And it just escalated from there. So got put in touch with Harry, and again, he had a vision set, prepped, ready to go, and I was like, right, got to make this work. So I luckily have lots of large pieces of foam that I can use for creating big areas like the one in the image there where they're all placed on the grid.
Mm-hmm.
And then just took other bits that I was able to print out, like the big piece of foam and the path that leads up to it. That's all set on it's basically a grid of printable tiles just underneath where you can, in the still that you've got there, you can just sort of see the green from the grass underneath. As that was progressing, and I was getting it all laid out and we were getting the colours right, and again the vision was like, this bit needs to be extremely dark, and it just progressing down the path because the blight is all around here, and the path, some of it is touch, but the rest of it further down it's sort of a lighter marble colour. But as we laid it all down on the tiles underneath, it was kind of like, it's supposed to be mountains and we've got all this grassy area, so maybe we want some clouds around to give a little bit of a... So that was a little bit of my influence, yeah. So you've got a bit of an idea of the height, and the grass is basically your viewpoint further down the mountains as the path is winding its way up through them. And just printed off random bits of terrain, painted them up, blighted them, and that's what we ended up with. So yeah, I think the foam board took a bit of work getting it all carved out. I've got a nice little hot wire cutter which I use for cutting up the bits of foam, which makes things a lot easier as well. And then it's just gouging out, creating scars with the craft knife to create the rocky surface. And then lots of layers of dry brushing for the details and effects.
Very cool. Yeah, I think this kind of set the tone for what we could all expect or what we could imagine was possible.
Yeah.
That was, I think everybody was kind of in awe when it initially came out. Definitely not expecting this level of attention to detail. I think if anyone has said any one thing about Mark, it's that his attention to detail on this stuff is incredibly impressive. So I do have conveniently and nicely provided by Mark some BTS from this. So I'm going to take
Exclusive. World premiere.
exclusive. Mark's got the wolves here, the blighted wolves.
They were fun to do.
I can imagine. I didn't realize that you did so many of them because did they how many were on?
I believe all 6 that we've got there.
Were all 6 there on screen? Yeah.
And they all picked on one particular person rather than the rest of them, apparently, who got themselves a bit of a bad name for it. Whatever the words are. Words are hard.
Unjustly?
There we go.
Yeah.
Unjustified.
The unjustified bad reputation. Because, hey.
Anything
not
you
Morgan's
guys want to
fault, but-
ask Mark about the episode 1? I'm going to cycle through some of Mark's BTS here and see the big set
I just
piece
wanted
there.
to say that it was really fun. That's a really I wasn't expecting the way that you did like the platform and all that to be done with like foam and like making so those little like audio descriptors that mountains have like ledges to them and they like curve downwards. That's how they work. Those like little curvy bits that's like you literally like cutting that out of the foam like
Basically, yeah.
on the left handy sidey stuff.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Right here, Harry. Right,
I don't know if I can
basically?
see. Oh yes, I
Right
can.
over here,
Yes,
right?
those bits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so they're basically just big blocks of insulating foam, which is generally the go-to for
The easiest way to do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for a lot of crafters
Mm.
because it's lightweight and it's readily usable and it stays how you cut it as well.
So did you have more fun doing the minis or more fun doing the set piece, do you think, Mark?
I enjoy the
Good
painting
question.
of the minis,
Mm-hmm.
but creating the set piece is definitely fun. Most definitely. Getting everything out of Harry's brain and creating it into physical form. Just trying to figure out how to do it is and I've learnt a lot along the way as well, like new techniques and how to make everything work and what I can use to combine the printing side and the crafting side together to make something a little bit more unique.
Very cool. Shan, any questions for Mark?
Not
on
questions, but I will say like so the only other D&D thing I ever like paid attention to was audio only. So like having a whole thing and like this one I think I watched from work. So I don't think I was at the viewing party for this one, so I didn't like at the time get a big old good look at it for a while. But it's just so cool to like when they wheel something like this out and you're like, "Oh, I get to see it." And it's just so cool to see like all the like work you put into it and how detailed it is. It's just really neat. I really like it.
Yeah,
and the
I
fluffy
can't-
little
Harry
clouds.
really wanted to go all in.
I can
Yeah.
I can imagine. I mean, yeah, it was definitely you guys really making an impact for this one for sure. I'm trying to remember. Harry, do you remember the first watch party that I attended?
Oh, I mean, was it not the first one?
I don't think so.
I
But maybe.
I think maybe you might have you sort of have always been there, as long as I can remember. Anyway, this is like last April we are talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
like I
almost a year ago
remember the
now.
first watch party. I just don't. The only thing I remember happening in it was getting yelled at by Ben. But I don't like.
Yeah, I don't think I
Don't
have
remember
been.
who was there.
Yeah, I don't think I have been present when Ben has also been present. So maybe it
Okay.
was a little bit later then.
Because he was
Yeah.
in with. He was on at Holly's house. He was on with Holly.
Ah, okay.
So he wasn't like technically on himself, but he
On
was like
himself, right,
Holly
yeah.
was on, and he was there with Holly. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I had the live reaction of everyone's reaction to this particular set piece.
Was this
I
the
can
one
say
where
everyone,
they did the exclusive?
The exclusive. By exclusive,
The
you mean?
Kickstarter.
there was like an exclusive little live stream, yeah, for some of the
Oh.
Kickstarters as well, where they also, like,
I think that one was on.
that one
I don't
was on
think-
YouTube.
Oh no,
yeah, that one
yeah, that
wasn't
was
on
after.
the. Yeah. It was
Uh-huh.
like it was just a like you were commenting in the
Yeah.
Johnny
Yeah.
Johns. Yeah.
As we have established previously, I was not in the luxurious position to be part of the backers. So, yeah.
Yeah. To be entirely specific, it must have been from at least episode 3 onwards, because according to the server, actually no, this probably isn't correct. Yeah, no, I just realized this isn't correct, because if you're on Patreon, it would have made you rejoin the server. Because
Not
thank you,
necessarily.
Patreon. I don't know.
Oh,
I didn't.
I
According
didn't have
to
to.
Discord, according to Discord, you joined the Natural Six server in May 24.
me.
Yes, according
Oh,
to
okay.
Discord, apparently. But that might also be made incorrect if the Patreon
By the
bot did
Patreon
the thing.
Yeah. Anyway, cool. Yeah.
But yeah.
It would have been interesting to see that initial reaction for sure.
Now, I think everyone, because it was definitely like, yeah, the first watch party, we were still figuring out like what we were doing. I was still taking screenshots and not realizing it was showing up in the bottom right what part of the screen I'd taken screenshots
It's
of.
incredible.
Very funny stuff. But no, everyone there was very much like, just, I think everyone there was pretty kind of like awestruck in terms of just like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It feels like proper. It feels proper D&D. You know, it's like the thing that I've always said about Natural Six is it always felt really kind of good as a vibe, because it feels like the atmosphere of a home game. But done with that nice little bit of a professional, like, studio standard that everyone wishes their home game had. And I mean,
Yeah.
every home game,
the
you know,
nice touch, right?
Yeah.
It's a professional home game.
yes. And this is like just the evolution of, you know, hey, boom, I've drawn a map on paper, bosh. But this is like that actually like visualized. It was a very strong start. You set a very high bar from the very
Oh
beginning.
yeah, definitely.
I was pretty much beaming through that whole watch party.
Hell yeah.
For those that don't know, Mark does not have his video on during the watch parties, probably because he's working hard on things that he's not allowed to show us. But
Well,
we're happy
mainly it's
that
because I
we're
didn't
happy
have
that
the
you
camera.
enjoyed it as well, Mark. Right? Like I think
yeah.
one thing we've talked about quite a bit on here is the watch parties kind of ability to give the whole group an opportunity to have a live reaction of the way people engage with the content. And I think, you know, our ability to give them that, like now we're giving them that a little bit with the podcast. Hopefully other people will have their opportunity to talk about how they felt about things. And it's kind of hard to, if you just put the content out there, you don't really, you know, you can get comments and stuff on YouTube, but that doesn't give you the same feel for how people enjoy what you're doing. Right. Yeah.
The best I get is when I see their the behind the scenes and their initial reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I watch those videos constantly.
It's good fuel, right? Yeah.
Dopamine.
Yeah.
Give me all
All right,
of it.
let's move swiftly on to 3. We're gonna get to watch a Vax spot wash ad.
Oh my god,
apparently.
the adverts. Let's get them that ad money. Also, I've just done the checker. Your first watch party that you attended was episode 5.
Okay. So
How'd you check?
So what I did was I actually went on Discord and I was like, let's search from DrKagon sorted by old. To clarify, you joined on the 2nd of February, so thank you Discord for messing it up.
We did it.
OG. But yeah, the first time you talked in the Netflix watch along chat was on the 30th. That was episode 5. So there you go.
Okay, so
Nice.
actually a reasonable number of episodes in then. Yeah.
Also, I have
Doesn't-
Action Surge playing in the background so that they can get their views for the day.
It doesn't
hell
feel,
It's
Yeah.
muted. I'm
Yeah.
not listening to them, but
it doesn't
is
feel
on.
that long. So this also, so this is the episode 3 set piece with Jasmine, which Mark also has kindly provided some BTS for us, which I'll show in a second here. But this is the other thing about this is like we all set this precedent of like every couple episodes we're gonna have the minis out, right? And obviously you and Harry probably, I'm gonna assume, Mark, and this was a question that someone asked me, is like how far ahead do you guys plan? And I'm assuming you guys had this ready before, like around the same time that you had the episode 1 stuff ready, right?
Thinking back to the timelines, I mean, I'd struggle to remember what happened last week. Never mind last year.
Same.
But I think these ones were probably all banked before episode 1 went live,
Yeah.
to be honest. So I think most of it had been sent through because they wanted to get a load of episodes done in the bank ready for
Mm-hmm.
their to keep their schedule running.
Yep. And part of the initial promise 10, right?
Exactly, yeah. And this one was a fairly simple, straightforward one. Some minis and a bit of scenery.
Mm-hmm.
The map was one that the design is something that I've got through the licenses that I have, and I printed it for myself for use in my own games. But since that faded away, I was like, here, I've got a map. Do you want one?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I think it's one of the double-sided ones, but it's on neoprene because that stuff is wonderful for doing roll-up maps and things like that.
Yep. Very cool. I got some
I love
Marks.
trees.
Yep.
tree goodies.
So that's the crossover, the crafting and the printing. Some 3D printed tree bases with lots of bits and pieces that I use to turn them into foliage wielding trees.
Very
Laden.
cool.
Is that also
Laden.
real moss?
That's seafoam.
Ooh, oh, seafoam.
Yeah. So again, with my many hours of research into doing things, one of them that had been highly recommended was using seafoam with latex rubber, stick it to the trees so you've got the lovely branches, and then coat it in the flock that you get.
Mm-hmm. Very
And
cool.
the snow was an extra addition because it's wintering really quickly.
Yeah,
Really
there's how
quickly.
they look after they're prepped.
Look at all those little guys.
Yep.
And that's the desk.
Look at all those little
actually
guys,
tidy.
one of whom had his head chopped off.
Rip.
No, it didn't.
Yep.
Big rip.
Had to reattach. It's
Never happened.
the best continuity of all time.
Yep. Didn't happen.
Yep.
Didn't happen.
It's like a D&D long rest.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly.
Anything else you guys want to ask on 3, guys?
No, it's just cool.
I was wondering in terms of so the board that was for this one, did you have like a board that you sort of printed for that one, or was that one that you like found for like the actual and like painted? Because this one's more like a sort of flat board.
No, that's the map as that some of the designers provide map artwork to go with it.
Ah, cool.
So you can't sell the digital files, but you can sell the physical ones. So I got that printed on some neoprene, and it was just literally a roll-out map that went onto
Lovely.
the pieces of the scenery. So the trees were a new item, and they used some of the scenery from episode 1 as well.
Yeah, I was
cool.
wondering about that, like how much. Again, you probably I mean, you know, because again, it's so much of your work that's kind of been done there. If you've seen bits and pieces, if you've seen bits and pieces in the other set pieces that have ended up being like reused, or like
Yeah.
because I love a good cheeky bit of reuse of assets.
Well, that was my whole thought process for them originally. It was like, right, I will just supply you with bits of scatter terrain so you can reuse it as and when you want to. So if you want to create something, you've got a whole host of items there that you can just recreate whenever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you're not having to create something new every time. You can just go to it as and when you need.
It's interesting that Harry hasn't really gone with that, right? He's really, each one is its own thing, and you'll see that with the stuff that we're going to go through here. We got 8 and 13 to finish up here. Is that each one is really its own unique thing, right? So let's hop over to 8. We're gonna watch some more. Oh, okay. We're going with loop earplugs this time.
Oh, nice.
Oh, audio listeners are in shambles right now.
For the ads that are on my YouTube. This is probably my favorite set piece actually so far. Partly because just the level of detail mark on this is just unbelievable.
I go ham when I don't often need
to. So like the one that got me was like the individual bottles on the shelves are all individually painted. I mean, I know, Mark, you said there's a bit of camera trickery here, and I'm sure like
this one.
the maybe the spines on the books don't have the actual things written on them, but
no comment.
Or maybe they do. But yeah, I mean this was really something else. Sets the bar for interior set pieces awfully high.
Yeah, I've got access to a lot of scenery and terrain pieces, including furniture for the indoors, and the actual base of this one is part of lots of different sets that I've got, where you may know of Dwarven Forge, but this is basically a 3D printable version of that, where I've got lots of different collections that I can use. There's over 100 different tiles for each set. So you've got caves, you've got houses, you've got dungeons, you've got all sorts. And this was one that just a nice and simple room, but it wanted to look like it was old and used and full of potion shelves and bookshelves and things like that. So I did the basic layout with the dungeon blocks. Shout out to them for the terrain tiles that we use, and just grabbed a load of random elements of furniture to go with it.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
And like you say, all the potion bottles individually painted, and I tried to get the gradients of the potions in there and some spillage, and then the gloss on top, and then spread them all with some cobwebs as well.
Let's see, we can see it kind of in action here from Mark's BTS.
That's literally just down here somewhere.
Photos.
Is that like a mini that's or in the middle, like an unpainted mini there for like scale reference?
Yes.
Yeah.
You may know who that one is. She's just not painted at that point.
Mm.
If I can find
Either, like, I don't know if that's either the Dolly mini or is that the Medea mini.
I think it's the Medea mini. But...
Yeah, there we go. Makes sense. It's her crib. That's awesome. The thing which I was wondering about this, so because, like with the first two ones, you know the 5 by like 5, like the little like centimeter grids are sort of easy to do, but in this one, obviously, it's a lot. It's I'd imagine it's a lot like harder to think about how you do that like visibility. So like, how do you? Because I've seen in shows like Dimension 20. For some of their set pieces, because it can be unclear where the things are, they put little like white dots in the center of each like square, so it kind of like isn't as like much of a grid, but still has the grid stuff in it. So how did you go about doing it for this one to try to make sure there's visibility there?
This one, each of the individual tiles is very subtly So you
Oh.
can see sort of just
Yeah,
the
they've got, like,
layout from the
ridges.
Yeah,
floorboards.
it's more obvious, right?
If
With
you
the
bear with me 2 seconds.
Audio
audio.
listeners.
Mark
He's
Walking
entering
away.
the mini library.
Oh my goodness. We're getting
He's bringing us a present.
live demonstration. Oh no.
Oh no,
No, it's
man
fine.
down.
These bounce. These are that set. So
Ooh.
Oh,
basically, you can see all the individual
Oh, they
tiles.
fit in a.
Oh, wow.
So they go in a
That's cool.
9x9 grid.
Ooh, so they connect like very like Lego connecting.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
And they all
cool.
fit together that way. So basically, I just come up with the idea with Harry's help, and the basic idea of the actual room, and all the tiles just fit in like that. So yeah,
Brilliant.
it's a nice way to showcase these sets and also come up with something really cool for him.
Definitely. Definitely. I think everybody who's watched through so far, like to this point, will definitely remember this. Maybe even more so than the first one, even though the first set is that episode 1 stuff is pretty iconic. That whole sort of the story with that is pretty iconic. This one, from a set piece point of view, I think is even more so. Right, last one. 13. I'm gonna get to watch some more YouTube ads, guys.
I think the behind the scenes is
Yay.
going to be interesting for this one.
We got Link Match AI for this one.
Wow.
Boo.
Find your.
The future of music search.
Oh yeah, great.
Boom.
13 was a lot. The other question I had multiple times was, Mark, how long did it take you to prep?
Yeah.
With
All your
this
listeners,
one.
this is the big one. This is the one with the Castle Grenweird.
Yeah,
Yes.
and our episode 13, the end of
Yeah.
sort of that particular arc.
For this one, I ended up cancelling me going on a family holiday,
Oh.
so I could get it done in time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well.
So it was going to be me, the wife, and the 2 youngest were going to be going on holiday, but because of the amount of work that needed to be done, I ended up not going, stayed home with the eldest, and he helped paint some of the buildings that were there. So, yes, that is my dedication to the cause. But it wasn't going to be that big.
Mm.
And then I put my foot in my mouth when I mentioned to Harry, it's like, there's not much of a play area here. Would you like it to go bigger? And he was like, yes. And can we also get this, this, and this? So that's where the 2 houses and the brewery appeared into it as well.
Were the other 2 houses also, could they have entered? And
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So I don't think
They're,
anybody has seen. Let me look at your BTS for this one, Mark. We'll just bring these in here. I don't think you. Yeah. So I don't think anybody's seen inside those buildings, right? They have not
probably
been.
not.
I
No,
don't think
but
they've been shown on Action Surge or the BTS or the behind the DM screen.
Oops.
Yeah.
I've just removed my cushion, but anyway, hey, whatever. They weren't as tall as the brewery because they were
Yep.
just single floor, simple village houses. But yeah, you can remove the roof from those, and they're playable interiors as well.
Very
All
cool.
How much of the castle portion itself was also playable?
the 2 walls that are in the image there to the left and right of the main keep, they're separate,
squint
so
you
they're
here.
just removable, so you can see behind them.
Okay.
The main part of the actual keep is that wonderful foam as well.
Mm.
And those that have seen the Action Surge, the 2 towers to the left and the right are the remains of Pringles tins, tubs,
Nice.
cans, whatever you want to refer to
They
them as.
Yes.
survive anything. School
Absolutely.
projects, towers on
Yeah.
castles. They could be anything you want them to
Rockets.
be.
Yeah.
Rockets. Yeah.
Get you a bracelet if you really want it.
Yeah,
Could
Um,
you make
absolutely.
like those like YouTube shorts like fires with them?
like a vuvuzela
Yep.
voice enhancer, blowhorn, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything.
I've got a really important question here.
Oh boy.
But which kind of Pringles? What Pringles
Cream
were they?
cheese. No, yeah, cream and chive. Is that the one? The green ones.
The green
Green
ones.
Interesting.
Sour cream and chive.
Sour cream and chive. That's the one. Yes.
Choice.
Youngest's favourites. Funnily enough, I could go for all of them, but that's his favourite.
I'm partial to just the regular ones personally, but yeah.
I like the.
prawn cocktail for me.
Once
Prawn
you pop,
cocktail.
the fun don't stop.
Exactly.
I'm a
Prawn
purple
Prawn
fan.
cocktail's okay. Purple is what?
Texas is the Texas barbecue one.
Oh, Texas barbecue.
Okay.
Texas barbecue. Here we just call that barbecue.
Yeah.
We have some. The UK has some wacky
I've heard.
crisp.
I've only eaten regular crisps when I come over there, so
There are some very impressive ones. I think
we
my
do get crazy ones from Lay's though. Lay's
Yeah.
likes to mess around
my
with flavors.
favorite so far from craziness ones is sometimes around Christmas time they have Christmas pudding ones. I think that's my favorite one so far.
I think the most recent ones I have was a sausage sandwich and ketchup. Again, Walker's.
Walkers.
Yeah.
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 Lay's,
I had,
aka Walkers.
Mm-hmm.
I had Marsala was one of the flavors Lay's did this year, and they also had a like stromboli, like the original stromboli, like the steak, peppers, all that like in the bun. A local company called Hers did like local flavors and went to different restaurants, and they did like toasted ravioli, they did stromboli, and I think they did, I forget the other Philly flavor they did.
They
It
must
was
have
like
done it.
quintessential.
They must have done a cheesesteak. No.
Somebody's done a cheesesteak before. I don't think cheesesteak was one of the ones they did this time. I think they were trying to think out of the box this time.
Bird flavor. Go birds.
Bird
Oh
flavor.
boy, chicken flavor.
Have you had a cheesesteak, Mark?
Not officially.
Not officially. Okay.
Only
Everyone
the
should
sub.
have one.
Yeah, only the Subway.
They're so
attempt.
good.
It's a must. It's a
Yeah.
must.
They're so good.
Right.
Sounds like they are, to be perfectly honest. Just one more thing with this: the
Yes, sir.
insulation foam came in
Yeah.
very handy again. All
I bet.
the bricks on the actual keep itself were individually cut and applied.
Dang.
Very cool.
Individually cut.
Very
So,
cool.
Like all the battlements around the actual keep. Actually the battlements on the walls as well.
Very, very cool. All right.
I was gonna ask about this. So the two other houses that nobody went into.
Yep.
What's inside them?
Yeah, I was gonna say he needs to know what's inside.
Or can you not say? Don't worry if you can't say what's inside those two houses.
I can't say
Besides themselves is
I
hiding in
don't-
there.
because I don't know.
Oh, oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just provide the content. No,
He
I
just
just
gives them the
provide
house.
the package.
Yeah.
The contents are down to Harry.
What Harry decided to put inside, right? Yeah.
I did
That's
allude.
It's
Sorry.
absolutely where themself is hiding.
He
That's
did
where it
allude
is.
to what was in the tents, though, didn't he? In the
Yes.
in the action search.
In the action surge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. I think we can wrap up art showcase before we go on to talk on about 22. Last question for you, Mark, which was asked me a couple of times, which is how logistically you and Harry get this stuff to the studio, and how you do you have to help with setup? How does this all how does it get like from Mark's factory to the studio and
Generally
they're
Royal
ready?
Mail.
Yeah.
This one was a courier
Okay.
because it was so big and in such a big box that Royal Mail, it was too big for them. So I had to organise a courier to take this one. But this goes direct to the studio.
Okay.
And this is also why I take lots of pictures from different angles and then send that to them so they know how it's generally set up, but most of it's quite easy, to be honest. The scatter terrain is there for Harry to use as
Do
he
you
sees
know who is responsible for assembly?
fit. It would most likely be Seb and Harry combined, I would
Okay.
imagine. But yeah, I think because the first one, when I sent it, I think some of the actual tiles underneath Mount Atria had come detached, so he had to give me a call to figure out how they clip back together. So it's just simple little plastic clips, but 3D printed, funnily enough, that clip them all together nicely. And it was just a case of he didn't want to try it too hard because he didn't want to break anything. I was like, nah, give it some welly, you'll be fine.
Excellent.
But that's where my anxiety kicks in. As soon as it's in the post, I'm like, oh, please let it survive. I hope I've wrapped it carefully enough that everything survives the transit.
I can only imagine. Once
Especially
the baby
with-
leaves, then yeah.
Jasmine was a particular area of concern because her spear is very thin and 22 as well.
Yep.
With one particular thing.
Yes, sir. All right. Hopefully we won't have scared Mark away and he will come back in the future and talk to us about some of the future set pieces. We have not talked about all of them. There are some more, some very recent ones in 22, in fact, which I think we'd all love to talk about. But we'll leave that to another time. It's too soon. It's too soon, Harry. Yes, it's too soon. All right. Let's flip back to just the four of us here. We're gonna whack up the spoilers tags.
Spoiler time.
We're gonna change the title to episode 22. We're gonna make the title visible, and we're gonna kick things off on 22. Harry very nicely summarized our predictions from last episode, which I'm going to get him to go through here.
I wrote them down this
in a
time.
second. Yeah,
I wrote them down this
Harry.
time because last time we didn't. Okay, so last episode, Doc, you predicted that Dolly was going to get more than one kill, and that indeed was correct. Dolly, everyone freaking turned up in this episode, of course. But yeah, Dolly got 2 kills according to this note here. I hope that is correct. I hope that is Kenneth's stats verified.
I thought it was actually more than 2, but I went and checked
Yes.
Kenneth's spreadsheet, and he had only marked 2 down, so I trust him.
Okay.
There was so much combat and so many things going on.
Yeah. How many dice rolls were there again? I know he's put it in one of the channels, so
I didn't look at the spreadsheet to see how many dice rolls there are.
I think he in the spoiler chat he wrote a summary for that, some summary of it all, and I think he wrote down how many dice rolls there were in general. I think it was like 163 or something.
Let me check here.
Yeah. While you check that, I predicted that Alex was going to wear the plot relevance bowler shirt, the one that's like two-toned. Unfortunately, he did not.
He did not.
Alex, I know only bad things happen when you wear that shirt, but like, you gotta do it. Do it for the things.
for us.
However, the moral victory, although, because like if only I had changed this to be like Alex would come dripped out, I would have won. Because Alex did decide that he was gonna like do his best like Agent 47, like, either hitman or I don't know, pool referee.
Whatever he was up to.
Yeah. Like his cool gloves that he gave up on after a while. Hey, he would win the points for that, but that was not the bowler shirts I was looking for. It's really fun when you wear them. It's a fun shirt. Shan, you predicted that you were getting a Domf pull, a deck of many friends pull, and
Yes, I did.
you were double correct.
I was.
There were 2. Yeah,
There were 2.
there
was
were
great.
2. Hell yeah.
I mean, it was great. It was like, for anyone who's seen Wicked, it's great. Like, that's how That's how it felt at the time. I was glad I was right, but I was like, God, at what cost?
Yeah. And finally, Kenneth. Kenneth kind of had like two sub predictions, so I've kind of listed them as like, part one, part two. Kenneth's part one was that Yoda was going to do more than just dropping Kel into danger to kill him. Specifically, that he was going to go and hunt down Parvus. Or now, I got stuff for this on the server, but I was actually right. Segavax, which I've spelled completely incorrectly in the documents, who was the gallant of the Fortis Legion. Noted as in Harry's DM notes as this guy is insane in capital letters apparently, and that that he'd hunt them both down and then blame it on the party. Didn't happen, unfortunately.
It was a very specific prediction, and unfortunately,
honestly, yeah. Bonus, I think, like, in general, bonus, like, you get not sympathy points, bonus points if you try and go for something, like, really specific. It's, I don't know how we're gonna, like, score this or figure this out, but, like, there needs to be, like, ranges of, if you go for, like, a broad net one, like, you could technically get it correct. You say someone's gonna roll a natural 20, and you probably will get it correct, most likely. But I don't know, is that worth the same amount of prediction correctness as, say, I don't know, Dolly is gonna hit a natural 20 at minute 25, second 32 in the episode, or something like that? Like, is there like a scale of probability we need to be working with? I don't know.
I think there's got to be a scale of probability. Yeah.
Stats guys, tell us in the description how we should rank this.
Yeah, definitely.
But overall, Shan and Doc, you both win.
We won D&D.
You won D&D.
I won D&D.
You
winning, son?
Someone tell the
BBC.
BBC breakfast guy.
Yeah, somebody tell the BBC. This was discussed, the BBC, because this episode, I think, was filmed right after they were at the BBC, so the Action Surge has some very interesting commentary on their experience with the BBC.
Fully that.
Yeah. Shannon and I are both disappointed that we have no further Aoife dress watch. But
her sweater was Eagles colored.
It was.
And it was also very cute, and I want one.
I believe even Aoife replied back to you and told you where you could pick it up. So
yes.
We continue. We await further dresses to try and get that perfect 10 dress. But Harry has suggested that perhaps we go for.
Oh, I honestly just wrote this down kind of as a bit, and I forgot to remove it from the document. Because I don't know if he will be hitting the Hitman aesthetic drip again.
Yeah.
Although, like, I do appreciate that he's going for. I believe that's the suit the aesthetic he was going for. I believe is the suit that Agent 47 wears to Mumbai in Hitman 2, 2018. The one with gloves. So, good on you for that. I hope it's correct. Hold on, everybody. I'm going to double check.
I think there was only one reason that he took the gloves off.
Yeah, I think didn't he take off because he was just like worried about it that he was gonna.
No, because it's stuck to the minis.
To the gloves, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he got stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Clarification. No. Sorry. Actually, it's I believe the Bangkok suit. I believe is the one that I'm thinking of. Yes. Good on you, Alex. If you're representing the Hitman, the outfit that 47 wears in Bangkok. Good for you.
Excellent, buddy. Cool. I think we need to talk about Ben Starr and his at everyoneing the server again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe Harry was
I'm
present for this one, and then everyone started changing their names to Ben Starr, and then there was some drama.
wasn't really drama. It was more just kind of like chaos. So, like I thought we were done. I thought we were done with the at everyone's after like the mum incident.
Yeah.
By the way, I appreciate the shout out to my mum at the end of serving cantrip, which I was literally listening to it today, and that just kind of came up. So thanks, Ben. I'll let my mum know about that. Yeah, no, I thought we were done with randomly at everyone in general after that, but no, we're not. Look, you know what? Hey, free passes given.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone, if you don't like at everyone pings.
Well, I mean, there's a few. We've got the announcements and everything. I think most people are used to a few pings now. But yeah, I mean, it was on brand.
It did delay me from cooking my dinner by an hour.
That's the moderator life, Harry.
Yay.
I have to say that you're not to the level of Mark yet in terms of taking one for the team and commitment to the cause. Like, but you're getting.
No, I have no rights to have any complaint or opinion on this whatsoever.
You do. You've got just as much right as everybody else.
You gave up a holiday.
That was my choice.
For D&D. It technically was also my choice to not cook dinner for a bit. And it mostly was because I did just kind of get distracted with it. But,
Nobody is safe from the Ben Star.
Nope.
No one is.
No one is safe. I feel like... Do you guys feel like you could do... So they were talking about impressions... of each other, and we started off the episode with Harry doing impressions of everyone. Do you feel like you could do an impression of any of the cast members?
Oh, okay. So since you've asked, we now have to kind of do it. There is no real scenario where we just say no, because that makes amazing content. Just being like, can we do it? No. Brilliant. Let's move on. So I think you've kind of like. The answer is no. The answer is absolutely no, but like we kind of have to try now.
Oh Lord.
But I don't want to.
Everybody's got to try the Harry impersonation of Aoife, even though Aoife will hunt us down.
I think, if she ever finds us at a con in the future, I think we might get, get assassinated.
And my Welsh accent is absolutely abysmal, so I'm not going there either.
The Welsh accent is a tricky one. I feel
maybe
like
we can just do one, like because we're in the muck now. We can't get out of this until we resolve this.
I feel like Doug's kind of Geralt, but not. Kelness is maybe the easiest to potentially replicate. Exactly, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, you've got
there you go. That's
the wind's howling, right? That's probably the easiest one.
I think Ben's other one would be the easiest one to do as well. But the problem is like then there's the whole other thing of I'll be immortalized on the internet making
he
weird
will post
noises.
Not only that.
Go on.
If you do it his voice, he might post you on the internet. He's done that before.
Go on.
The other one is eyes. Alex's eye. The other ones are just doing an impression of them, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Doug's Kelness and Alex's eye are the characters, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, practice your impressions, and we'll see about it next episode.
All right? Thank God.
All right.
No, I'm getting mine out the way right now. What was you fudging? Well, no, we're getting out this. No, I'm doing this right now. Fudge it. So okay, just very quickly. It was like.
What?
If I get really nice and close to the mic for all the audio listeners out there, I'll do it from behind my mic. So.
No, that was fantastic.
What is this?
I should just take the pop filter.
What is he doing?
What are you doing, buddy? All right.
Did he just hit himself?
Mark's
good?
doing ASMR.
Yeah, we've got ASMR over here. We've got Harry whatever over there.
I'm trying to put
Audio
the pop
listeners,
filter
you're
back
having
on,
a
but it's not working.
great experience. 1440p audio.
1440p and Mark's microphone ASMR.
I'll leave it.
All right. Okay. I think we already alluded to it, but I think we also need to talk about what got into Doug Cockle and just how
The player's handbook.
unbelievably on point he was. I think he mentioned in the Action Surge that he had been concerned that he wasn't necessarily playing to to the level he wanted to play, and I don't know if that was it or not, but boy did he take his play to another, and they needed it, right? Like this was a quite difficult, and I think it'll get Harry. We had a kind of joke about challenge ratings and stuff like that in the watch party. As things get more difficult, as you progress through the levels, like if you don't play, then you're gonna die, right? Like there's
yeah.
more to risk when you're level 8, 10, 12, 14, right? Like
Doug just locked the fudge in. He locked the hell in. He showed up. He showed up. He was like, you know, he was not like happy with how like his episode 13 performance had been, and he'd shown up and he was like, he's read his cat sheet. He's got the flow chart going, because like what I have for like some of my characters, I've just found that helps me visualize is just like I use like draw.io to literally like draw up a couple of like flow charts that are like action, bonus action, reactions, and some things that like I feed into each other. There's like, you know, the go plan. There's like the I don't know what to do in my turn plan. There's that kind of stuff. But no, he came in, he was like, I know the rules. I know everything. I will command everything. Rolls 10 bajillion nat 20s. Like does some Omega Brain wildfire plays of just being like having Hank be like his friggin' little teleportation little guy so he can get so much extra damage off. He went like full John Wick in D&D mode. And what an episode to do it in.
it was impressive.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
But just to say, like, I mean, that was also kind of a good just thing for everyone, to be honest, as well. Everybody really everyone really kind of like, I think, came prepared. It also kind of helps if it's like, you know, combat immediately starting at the episode. And again, if they'd very recently done the BBC thing, that was, you know, they were going through a lot of like fun combat
Practice,
stuff for
right?
their BBC
Yeah.
stuff. That would have been bits of practice as well.
Definitely.
So that was it. Yeah, it was just really like just fun and just good stuff from everybody. Just being able to kind of like yes and the dice they tell a story. They tell a story in combat.
Especially when the DM doesn't roll higher than a 10 or something.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
for
yeah.
for a good period. That's a nice segue, Mark. Thanks for that. I don't know.
Gem of segue.
Segue gem. Tell us about your feelings on the Dice Tower.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with the tower. That whole previous episode, that's because if you go back and watch very carefully, Ben kisses the D20. That is the reason, not the tower. The tower is fine. It was cursed by, the die was cursed by Ben planting lips on said die.
The curse of Ben.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do they fix the curse? How do they fix the curse of Ben kissing that dice and that dice is now cursed? How do we get rid of that curse now?
We remove Ben. Sorry.
Well,
Jokes.
Sorry, Radian.
Spoilers
Not
for future
again.
episodes. Yes. Mark has spoken. There will be no further discussion of cursed dice towers.
right.
You just got to use it more often.
I mean, that's part of it. That's part of it, Harry. Yes.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Shan, you had your moment. There were 2 Deck of Many Friends polls.
Technically, there were 3.
Yes.
2.5.
Which is interesting, excuse me, also with the action surge and Harry saying that the more they ignore Erastus, the harder it's going to be to ignore him. And he's going to keep trying to get pulled from that deck. And Ben had left for the day when he said it. It's like, uh-oh.
Yep.
Ben doesn't know he cannot deny Erastus much longer.
Yeah, we had a little back and forth in the watch party chat about consequences for using the deck. And I think we're starting to... Harry was quite coy about... I think he said explicitly during the action surge that he doesn't want to disclose too many of the deck features or mechanics. He wants them to be, I guess, found out organically by the table. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I mean, just being able to pull these and have a constantly a positive outcome, or more often than not have a positive outcome with no consequence.
Well, I guess it's not consequence. I was going to say the consequence was we got Abu and Reb Ford, but then that's not a consequence. That's a win. We all win.
Yeah. I mean,
we all win.
We definitely all win for the polls, but
Yeah.
I think having a sort of set of consequences for not just kind of doing this willy-nilly, right?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like something's got to be up with that. That deck was like, I mean, we've had allusions to it like tormenting Radiant in the past. And that was before he started pulling cards. So I there's got to be like there's some sort of a cost to all of it in general. There was already a cost to him ignoring it and trying to get rid of it and everything else. What's the cost of actually using it?
Just Erastus.
Erastus
all of the
is the
bad
cost.
voice was just Erastus.
The cost.
That's
Yeah.
just him.
Just that crazy
That
guy.
That guy's like, oh, that Radiant. I'm gonna be fudging, like spending ages. I'm
gonna
just gonna
get
be.
you.
He
hammering
wants
his
to
head.
eat that man so bad. Just chomp right
Interesting
down on
phrasing.
him. I said nope. There's missing a word from it, so the phrasing still works.
I feel like this will not be the only consequence that we explore here.
So I've got a question about this deck, actually. Oh, sorry, Mark.
Go,
Oh,
Mark.
sorry, I controversial opinion.
Go
I
for
want
it.
to see what you guys think. Did the deck need to be used at that point?
But which one are you talking about? Like for both or for neither?
The first one, because that was when
It would have downed Kelnus, right?
yeah,
I think Ceravax like did it. Was it a nat 20 from Ceravax?
yeah, but it was just no,
It was the radiant damage, right? So it would have
think
downed Kelnus for sure. I think it would have been like 60 or 70 damage total.
yeah,
So
or something like that. So, but yeah, it would have just been unconscious, not.
it wouldn't have
not
killed
kill.
him, no.
No, but I think someone's still going down, especially with like in terms of their condition or
Actually, yeah,
the
with it being-
economy that they
So,
have.
Did they need to use it in that instance? No. But I do think it is narratively satisfying to have that additional wrinkle to the sort of combat flow, I think.
Wrinkle in time.
I'm sure that they've had their own discussions off camera about like, we're not doing this every episode, right? Every time we have a bad roll, we're not pulling from the deck, right?
Well, they've got limited use, haven't they? So
But yeah, I mean, it's their gimmick to use, but
yeah,
using
I
it
was going
sparingly.
to actually like ask on this because like the thing that at least I might have just like understood it kind of wrong, but the actual like Erastus Gracie is gonna come back because they want the card to be used. I is that confirmed to be an Erastus Gracie thing, or is that like a deck thing? Because at least the way I originally like thought of it, they might have confirmed that in the action search, but I was thinking because the reason why, so originally what happened in 17, they used it, they used a deck to counter the deck, which they agreed was a valid move. They agreed was a valid move, but sort of within that, like the consequences was the unfortunate thing was that kind of meant that Andy's card didn't really get like its time to shine. So I kind of thought of it as okay, if they do end up using a deck that counters a deck, or the deck doesn't, the card doesn't get its like thing to get used really, then in case that card can go back, and that card can go back in the deck, or that card's the one that's going to be like, I don't know, staged to pull essentially. I didn't know whether it was explicitly an Erastus Gracie thing, or if that was like, just a way of like making sure that in those cases, like the deck cards like don't get wasted, because that's how I more interpreted it. I could just be wrong though.
I don't believe that Harry has said one way or the other.
Good.
So that is up for all of us to speculate on.
There's my speculation.
When the card was read out, I don't think any of those mechanics of like, well, if something happens or for future cases, we're going to continue to have this. Like, I don't remember any of that. It's possible that was said, but I don't think it was. And
just because it wasn't really mentioned in the Erastus Gracie, like when they originally like doing Action Surge 17, that was never really like a part of it.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a feeling that's like an addition to it to ensure that if a situation like that happened, it could happen. Because I know they've kind of confirmed afterwards, like the idea of like pulling a card against a card, that's the only time they can really do that is once. They can't like start cascading, pulling literally every card in the deck. Cause
no, 100%. That kind of like invalidates the whole.
I think but
there's
I think
no
that's
stake. There's no stakes then, right? You're just pulling them until you get the outcome that you want, right?
24 card shuffle.
I hope that is a deck thing rather than a card thing, because that just kind of means like, every card will get its time to shine. Andy's gonna fudge and get that guy. It would be incredibly funny if Andy kills Radiant again. And I'm kind of hoping it happens. I'm sorry to will it into existence. That's not my episode 23 prediction. That's my Erastus Gracie prediction. When Erastus comes, it will screw Radiant specifically.
Definitely. There were many nat 20s. I think I counted like 7. There may have been more. Kenneth will shake his finger at me later from not knowing exactly how many, but
I will see if I can find the specific stat.
Probably, and then for Mark, like we got a dragon. Mark, a dragon was on display.
Yes.
A dragon was here.
We'll talk about the details of 22's set pieces, of which there were many another time, but did you have as much fun with this one as the others before, or is this one the one so far?
The piece itself.
Yeah.
That was all my design as well.
Wow. Okay.
Apart from the chairs, it's like I've got bits lying around that were like prototypes, but a simple design in Tinkercad for bits and pieces, and I just added to it as well. That was fun and tricky challenge, shall we say, but one that I think we managed to solve quite nicely.
Well, foreshadow for future episodes. Hopefully Mark will not be totally scared off by us, and will come back and talk to us again about 22, because there's lots of things to dissect about the minis in 22. Cool. There was some deep discussion, Harry, about exactly what Rabelast said. I think your hearing of it was exactly what my hearing of it was, which is
Yes. I think there's been common confusion about this, and we have like at least like semi/Sebi official, because it was from Seb, who
Nice.
kind of confirmed this,
Right.
and because it's not been challenged, I'm assuming that's the truth.
it is, and I can also confirm that that exact right reading of it is in the glossary entry
Ah.
for Radblast as well.
Of course.
So,
It's canon then.
it
Okay.
yes, it is.
Thank gosh.
Yeah,
Because,
it is
yeah.
authoritative at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, and in that case, yeah, it was Rebulast, when she was when Radiant was like, "Who are you? Who are you? Who the hell are you?" And she was like, "Damn, gosh, damn it, dude. Surely you've heard of me? Question mark. Hero of the Shadowfell? Question mark. Referring to herself as the hero of the Shadowfell. And she was like, "Reliquie. What a surprise!" And then whoop, vanish. So I've just written simply in our document originally, because when the deck was pulled and that was said, I said Radiant Reborn theory is dead. No, because I thought
We
because
were
some
doing
of us
live
thought,
note taking so that we
Yeah.
can
We're so
make sure we
cooked.
catch the stuff. But
yeah, some of us thought, you know, that was like referring to is Radiant from the Shadowfell, and I was thinking like, would Radiant being from the Shadowfell be like Shadowfell soul in like elf body? What the fudge would that mean? You know, I'm doing all the like audio listeners. I'm doing, you know, all the thing in Sherlock where he like, you know,
Or
slaps
you're
the word
doing
liberty around in his mind.
the Pepe
Enters the
Silva.
Mind Palace.
Yeah, but
Mind
no,
Palace,
Seb
yes.
confirmed. Seb confirmed that by proxy that basically Radiant Reborn theory is
is still on the table.
undead.
It's still on the table.
So it's been reborn then.
It's been
Yes, you could say it's undead.
reborn. It has indeed. We have noted here that Shan won because the poll happened.
I did. I won. I did.
And I think that, yeah, we
Twice.
talked about consequences. We talked about, yeah, I mean, the combat was great. We had some important moments. The reaction to the final encounter and discussion was of epic proportions in the watch party. Shan, we're not going to talk about everything that transpired now because it's raw for everybody. We'll probably leave that to a follow-up. But maybe Shan wants to mute herself or mute me because I wanted to. I don't know if Ben Starr is going to listen to us.
I would also like to talk about Ben Starr, so go ahead.
But I'm over 10 years older than Ben, so I have a little bit been on this earth a little bit longer. But one of the great things about getting older, and we talked about this a little bit in the green room beforehand, Mark talking about his kids, is you have a different relationship with life as you get older. You have that experience of children of your own and such. The shitty thing about it is you have a declining experience with death as you get older. You have more experience with death. And that is just an unfortunate thing you realize as you get older. The good comes with the bad. But also the ability for art, and this art form in general, to evoke emotion, and that doesn't just happen by chance. There's an incredible amount of skill that is required in order to execute on what Harry and Doug did in that moment that does not just happen in a completely unrehearsed context with all of that. So I think we can all give those guys a round of applause for how wonderful that was, and how the community, the watch party, of course, but the rest of the community and the number of people who have said, hey, this thing resonates with me. This is important to me. It's important that we talked about this. It's important that we, had an adult way of engaging with these topics and evoking those emotions in a positive way for everybody. So thank you guys for putting your kind of soul on the line to do that. It's impressive, right? And I hope that we have more of those. I hope we've had the sadness. Now I'm hoping we get the joy as well. So I look forward to hopefully being able to have the guys channel the joy. So that's it. Ben, if you're listening, thank you. Harry and Doug, thank you. You have the floor, Shan.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's literally the same thing as Ben, a bit more recent. This is so fun fact, I literally saw Ben in November, and I'd given him a note, and I knew I would cry if I talked about it. And he had said, no, it's okay to cry. And I was like, we're not, but I don't feel like it, because I'm one of those people where, like, if I think about something that upsets me, it's time, So it's like, even if I'm perfectly fine, I'm even keeled, the upsetting thing just the waterworks just start. So it's like, so I'm like perfectly fine, but I'm like, damn, the tears have begun. But yeah, so it was like a similar thing. And I mean, Aoife touched on it too when she spoke after Ben as well during the action surge. But yeah, I mean, it's been a month and a half. I'm doing my best. But when you lose somebody and you're hearing this like beautiful moment where somebody is like, they get the chance to see them again, and it's like the worst way possible, like literally the worst way possible. But it's also almost like one of those things where, like, when you lose somebody, you don't, you think about your best moments with them, but you're also thinking about the worst things, right? Like, look at what I've lost. Like, I was thinking the other day, like, man, what would be really good? It's really cold. I'd love some, like, what is it even called? It's like railroad stew. My dad made it all the time. I never asked him what he put in it. I mean, I could figure it out. It wasn't like a difficult recipe, but it's like, damn, that's, it's something that I had and it's gone and I can think about it. I can see it, but it's like, but it's also, you're confronted with like the worst things that they said, because those are things you don't get to process anymore because that person's gone. So you can't process the good, you can't process the bad. So Kel's not only like, he's learning his history, the things that he didn't know about them, but he's also literally confronting them because they are trying to kill him. Crazy stuff going on a meta level that I don't think is like intentional, but it's like, oh damn, that sucks. Cause that's, you can't, cause I've never talked about what it was, but I mentioned I had a cameo from Ben that wasn't like the Starbucks one. It was about Clive's relationship with Annabella, because my dad was not always nice to me. And, it just kind of sucks when you are going through, like, losing someone and you want to think about the best things, but you also have to think about the worst things because they're just so intrinsically tied up. And, what was said in that made me feel really good, because it was like, it was like, how do you come back from something like that? What do you tell your younger self? What comes later, when you are experiencing all this, like, how do you get over that, So it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, mentioned, yeah, my dad's gotten worse. It's because it's so hard to be a caregiver and and a child at the same time, because like you're already not doing anything right. Now you're not doing anything right to make things easier for someone, and it's like it sucks. And so, you know, that's kind of why I didn't want to talk about it with Ben, because I was like, I will start crying because, this kind of stuff sucks to talk about. It sucks. I think it's good that we can talk about it, because I think there's such a taboo about thinking about dying that we don't talk about the hard parts. And I know I don't like to. I know I'm a very hee hee ha ha guy. I made a lot of jokes in the last few months because it was so like intrinsically tied to like my life, but that's because it was easier. It's easier to be funny about it than to think about the scary parts. And it was tough. It was tough kind of sitting there. I had to like look away from the screen for a little bit because it was like, if I watch, I'm gonna really start crying. And I did. Like, literally the second Ben came in was when I was like, I had dropped my head down because I couldn't do it anymore. But yeah, it was tough. And I think when they mentioned, when he brought up the spoon, and I've talked about this, all this, Goofy, this is all because of my dad. My dad put that love of sports in me. Like, this is what he gave me. I was on Broad Street because he made me love that so much that I wanted to be there to experience it. Like, so that really took me out, because like so much of like what I like and who I am came from my dad. And so the whole idea of like, I wish I could say, like, I took a picture of my dad at Broad Street because, like, I wish I could show him, like, how happy this all makes me. But I can't. And I'm glad Cal got the opportunity to, because so many of us don't get that opportunity. I mean, none of us really do. But, yeah, it was a tough, like, end of an episode. I know several people on the server have gone through it, too. It's just hard for me because it's, like, it's still like, so fresh and hard.
It's raw.
It's really hard. Yeah.
It's raw, Shan.
Sucks. Yeah. And like, reading that article about Ben, hearing everything he said during the promotion of 16, like obviously it was in the back of my head because like, again, this is something I've been living with for a long time, but like, yeah, I even cried reading that article because it was just like, now I know exactly how that feels.
Yep.
So,
I mean, this is that kind of, I don't want to psychoanalyze Ben Starr because that's not fair.
No, yeah.
And we don't really know Ben. But I think the thing that does do, and they made a deliberate decision to keep that stuff in Action Surge, is it does give you an appreciation for the men and women behind the characters and behind the personas that we see.
Yeah.
Right. And it's important to remember that these are people. Right.
Yep.
And they're all going through their own stuff. They got their own things going on. And yeah, we see them. We have the joy, right, of seeing them for 3 hours or whatever it is every other Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we see them a little more on the cantrip and such. Mm-hmm. But that they are just people. And that ability to relate to those things, etc., is what makes us human. That's what makes the community great. That's what makes the opportunity to talk about, engage with these things so important. So, in terms of thanking people, thanks to everybody for being, able to do that, because that's what it's all about, right? Like, it'd be one thing to be sitting, in your living room, just watch the episode, turn it off, move on. And I'm sure there are people that do engage with the content like
Oh,
that.
100%, yeah.
But it is also nice for those of us who have been able to take something more from it, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Shan.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of that is how they engage with the community as well.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't happen by chance.
Yeah.
Right. They've been very honest with us about a lot of things, which most others who are trying to do this stuff
not be, yeah.
wouldn't be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, right, we're gonna turn that frown upside down.
Yerp. Yeah, see, look how
and
quickly I recovered. That's what I'm talking about.
Talk about-
ADHD, baby. ADHD, baby.
Just
Only
move that
2
on.
tears fell.
Move that on. Thoughts on 23 before we try and
man.
wrap this thing up.
How do you even predict 23 after all that?
It's
I've been thinking the
gonna-
exact same thing.
It's the bar. I thought the bar was already high after 17.
Right.
Audio
17
listeners,
TM.
Mark has brought out the Titan Tarrasque and is petting it.
Yeah, the one thing I said we probably shouldn't hug is the thing
Yeah,
he's
is
hugging,
the thing that
which
Mark
is
is,
good.
is hugging.
Wait, let me get my Jalen Hurts jersey.
Audio listeners, Mark is profusely bleeding from touching the Tarrasque.
It's everywhere.
Oh, battle scars. Battle scars. So next Tuesday, 2003, I'll be out. Of course, there will be a, as we're recording this now, in fact, a couple hours ago, the Action Surge would be available for
I
everybody.
wonder if it's still
Yes.
playing in the background. I wonder if it's over.
And
It is over. It is stopped playing.
Yeah. Things are coming thick and fast for 23. Holly let drop that they have recorded, I believe, up to 25. I think she mentioned that on the cantrip. So,
Yes.
that's great. We're getting close to being 3x the Kickstarter promised episode count.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we'll do something cool when they get to 30. There were discussions about doing something cool potentially for the 1-year anniversary, which is
Not pub crawl, pub quiz. Different
pub
things.
quiz. Yeah.
Listen,
You gonna
I
do
think
pub
we
quiz?
could all
You gonna
use
do
a
pub
pub
quiz?
crawl after this.
A pub crawl. I go for the pub crawl. Pub crawl.
Pub
crawl.
crawl.
Pub crawl. We could do.
Pub crawl and quiz. You just do each round different.
Yeah,
different
we
Yeah.
do a quiz at a different
They-
pub every time.
So if they need any suggestions, any unsolicited suggestions on how to do that and reduce the burden of having to write like so many questions, 6 categories. Each member can do whatever they want with their own categories.
Oh no.
They do not communicate to any of the other members of the cast what their category is on or about. It's just the only thing is probably just with one central person to make sure there isn't accidentally overlap.
Accidentally overlap. Yeah.
But you get
It's
you
gonna be
just get chaos.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
gonna be
like-
chaos.
Uni society pub quiz like organization.
so
Terrible stuff.
predictions. Harry.
Okay. Don't worry, that's good. I've thought of this. So I was thinking, what do I predict for this episode? And like, I'm going down the thing of, you know what? I'm gonna shoot down the middle. I'm gonna go like quite specific, but something which I have a feeling they'll probably follow upon with this one. My prediction, which I'll figure out how to phrase, right now, vaguely, but precisely, is I think Asuka is gonna have to move out of where she is currently staying
Wow.
because and potentially have to maybe they might talk about moving to Barun, or they may have to figure out some other place where she can go to, because I have a feeling generally harboring the people who just went in, and even though the good guys kind of maybe living a bit more up to God Killer name kind of now. It's seeming a little bit more feasible now if they kind of went and kind of ganked Carvilius.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling because of that, and because the Fortress Legion is going to be a bit like ugh,
Yeah.
for the time being. Asuka's gonna have to like move, which is very sad because her like house had incredibly cozy vibes. So that's my
Good.
prediction. They're gonna
Good.
have to
Okay.
figure out how to relocate her.
Okay.
Do you need more time, Shan, or are you ready to throw your prediction?
I kind of thought of one when he brought up Asuka, because last we saw her, there was some conflict. I don't know if I think there's gonna be conflict when they come back, especially because they've just done all that.
There was a discussion how the hell they're going to get down from this tower as well.
That was
but
so. My number one was they'll get down from the tower. My number two is that if they see Asuka again, I think I'm trying to decide if I want her to like do something to Radiant,
Give him
aka
a slap.
punch him, yeah, push him off the boat maybe. I was debating whether he might apologize. Like, do we think
Ooh.
he's grown enough to maybe, because he saw some stuff up there, okay?
He tends to get pretty apologetic and humble when he almost dies.
Yes, but also, like, he saw some pretty sad stuff up there, and maybe he feels bad, and he's like, you know what, I'm sorry, I was terrible. I'm also, like, I'm kind of thirsty. But, like, you know, I can't decide if I would rather she hit him or push him off the boat, or he apologize and be a good little boy. But yeah, I think somehow they're gonna get down from that tower is my number one. I also keep forgetting Parvis is there.
He is.
So like I'm trying to come up
Live
with
Parva's
something.
reaction.
Yeah, live Parvis reaction in the corner. I'm trying to figure out what could happen. Like what even could this conversation like? Because I know Ai's gonna have questions. Ai's a very curious little fella, and he liked Parvis. Like I'm just interested. I can't think of a precise concrete prediction there, but that's what I'm like. I'm interested in whatever's gonna happen with Ai and Parvis. So those are like my three main curiosities, thoughts that I was able to think up while listening to Action Surge last night.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mark, we know that you know things, because you
Yeah, I
have to
don't think
know
it's
things
fair.
because you're
I don't think it's
prepping
fair to
ahead of
ask
time.
him.
It's what I
But-
do. I paint and I know things.
Is there? Do you have a prediction for 23 that you'd like to share?
It'll be next Tuesday.
Nice.
Okay. Can I make
Great.
a
I
second
think you're gonna-
prediction
I
and
think
make
you're
that
gonna-
Mark's prediction, please?
I
Because I
think you're
thought of a
gonna
second
win.
one, and I'm really annoyed I've not made this my one.
Oh no. Go ahead.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, cool. Mark's prediction from me is that there's going to be the most bro moment of the most bro moment of all time between Radiant and Kelnus. Like Radiant and Kelnus stocks, they're going to have
Right.
a moment, capital M. It's gonna happen.
So are you thinking more along the lines of like them going like pretending to be stealing flowers and reaching across Holly kind of moment, or like
Either I'll keep it more
What
broad. I
kind
mean,
of moment?
I don't think that kind of moment. I'm more
Okay.
thinking the moment immediately after
Hmm.
that with Radiant opening up about like, you know, the sort of traumas within his own family.
I don't know
Yeah.
my
I think-
family and all this.
I think we're gonna get another one of those moments, and it's gonna happen, and it's going to be good.
for the
That's-
girlies.
So that's a really good prediction, Mark.
That's wow.
I
So
feel
generous.
like for me, so last time I went with 2 kills. I'm gonna go with, and maybe this is a safe one, but I'm gonna go with it anyway, which is that we will have no combat whatsoever, none, zilch, nada, in 23.
That would have been my other one. So yeah.
That's a very risky prediction.
It is kind of risky because they gotta get down the tower.
They
It's a-
do have to get
yeah.
down the tower. Yes.
I
But
think there's already
no
a pattern.
attack rolls will be rolled.
Okay, no attack rolls. I'm going
No
to
attack
specify
rolls.
no attack rolls.
No attack rolls. So
Boogie roll.
maybe
Initiative could happen.
Elwyn is gonna try and throw a rock at somebody, and there'll be an attack roll.
Yeah, if that
and then I'll
happens-
lose my prediction. But
Rocks fall, they all die.
There's it's really funny that kind of like we're sort of already there's kind of trends going on, because I noticed like Doc, your predictions are very like stats focused. You're a stats demon on this. Like
I just
you know,
find it very difficult to make story prediction. Maybe it's just because I'm paying too much attention to the spoiler chat and stuff to make predictions that I feel like that are inherently mine and not somebody else's that I've seen.
Yeah, that's why I don't really go in spoiler
on the story
chat.
side. So maybe I'll have to like stop looking at spoiler chat for like
Yeah.
a week or whatever and
Do what I do. Never go in there unless you're unless you're actively watching an episode. That's what I do.
So, all right. Cool. I believe you guys know what time it is. It's
Yeah.
that time.
I forgot the mop again.
We're gonna
Sorry,
turn the
guys.
spoilers off. We're gonna turn the topic. We're gonna change the
Oh
topic.
shoot, he's got an umbrella.
I'm dual wielding.
Oh my god.
He's dual wielding. Mark, of course, has a 3D printed mop. I've got my mop. here.
That's my favorite one. I love Sorcerer Mickey.
Do we have any other business for today?
Okay, Count Orlok. That's a deep cut joke for anyone who's seen Nosferatu.
Harry,
I don't. I just think
do you
you're
have
all
any
neat.
other business for today?
Nope, I think you're all neat.
All right. I have no other business, but we have a tradition here, and that is we're gonna Roly some Poly.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
And
I need to get green dice now.
I will. I did promise the Discord that I would record a video detailing the roly-poly technique, and point to some of the other folks who have done similar things. And I will make good on that promise, maybe before the next episode, and put that up because there has been some confusion about how the
I don't think
rollies
This one's gonna be very good, guys.
are polied. But do your rolls.
This is going to be a heavy one.
Mine's not very good.
Oh my god. Nope, it's over. It's so over. Oh
Okay.
no.
At least
it
it's
can't
not
be
just
worse.
me.
I'm gonna say it cannot be worse than my last
Oh, God.
episode.
Yeah.
roll.
That was shocking.
It was bad.
Hold your horses.
I mean, it's not my worst one, but it's not great.
Well, I'll give you my thing is I've rolled one set of double digits, and that is on the 100s die.
Good.
So I have rolled
Wow.
not above a 10 naturally.
Same.
Let's add this.
Same.
All right. I
above a
can
6.
say that I got a natural 1 on the d20, but that's the lowest roll that I got, and I've got.
Oh, my stomach just growled really loud.
99.
Ugh.
Wow. Okay. Who out of the rest of us, who thinks they've got the lowest? Because I'm pretty confident.
I'm not gonna be confident just because you both are so confident.
I'm confident I've got the lowest. So Shan, you go next.
86.
Okay, 86.
86 is pretty high.
Pretty good.
Okay. Okay. It just felt. I mean, I rolled so good last time. I had like 130 something, didn't I? It was so good.
Okay. Shall I go first, and then we'll leave the guests as the finale.
Oh boy.
Sure.
Oh.
45.
Oh, bless you.
Oh. Brother.
What did you get, Mark?
Christ.
Well, My highest number was a 6, and that was on the D6.
Ooh.
22.
Oh no, we need a
Oh,
readout.
no!
Readout on
22.
each of those dice.
Do you want
Oh,
to,
dear.
I'll get a picture as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent. We love a
It's very
BTS
shiny.
here.
Very shiny.
Yeah, I
How
rolled
perfect
I rolled
was that,
a
by the
0.
way?
The highest single digit I rolled was a 6. I rolled two
Nice.
sixes.
Yeah, we love a BTS here.
How
Am I
perfect
showing
was
up here?
that? That was like,
Whether you'll be able to see it or not, I'm not sure, but
sorry, audio readers, can
Mark
you
is showing
listen them
us
out?
his-
What the fudge?
I'll read them out as well. But there you go.
Yeah.
So on the D6 we have a 6. On the D8 we have a 4.
Hmm.
On the D4 we have a 1. On the D12 we have a 5. On the D20 we have a 2. On the D10 we have a 4, which means on the D100
You have a 00.
we have a 00.
Oh.
My days.
Boy.
That's a stinker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
That's a
Although,
bummer.
can I just say, incredibly choreographed that we managed to go from highest to lowest.
Yeah.
That was
We did.
flawless, though.
Very very nicely done.
The D100 is what makes it or breaks it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
It
rolled a
does
70
indeed.
this time.
It does indeed.
Oy, oy, oy.
Right, guys. We do not have a guest scheduled for episode 5.
Right.
Probably we'll go a couple episodes without one, and then we'll bring some other folks on. If you'd like to come on, let us know.
Do. It is fun.
we'd love
Okay.
to have
I
you.
cried in front of you, so that's a pretty low bar.
Yeah, but that says enough that you are comfortable to do so. Yeah?
I cry all the time.
Yeah.
I cry a lot.
Right. We're gonna let Mark do his shoutouts first,
Yes, he's the
Hell
guest.
yes.
as the guest.
Professional
Yes.
shoutouts.
Professional
Mark,
shout-outs.
the
Yes.
floor is yours, sir.
Shout-out number 1. I've got a list of 552. I hope you don't mind. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We got time.
I
Shout-out
just need to
number
make
1
some soup.
goes to Tabletop Dominion
Yes.
for getting me into this whole amazingness.
Yep. I've got 2 boxes. I can't move one because it's holding my light up. I got like 4 sets of Tabletop Dominion around me right now.
Yeah, for
Shout out.
introducing me into this whole craziness that is here. And that's my main shout out. The other ones are to the Royal Armouries in Leeds on Saturday, Sunday, where we'll be at Leeds Super Comic Con, and then Bedford International Arena on March the 8th and 9th, where we'll be at the Bedford Tabletop Expo, I think it's called. And then NEC in Birmingham at the end of May, June, where we'll be at UK Games Expo.
Excellent.
Hell
Go
yeah.
go find Mark at a
Go
convention near
find
you.
him. That's our quest to you.
Go find Mark. Shan.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'd like to shout out the Philadelphia Eagles because my mental health was relying on them. I was going all kinds of crazy last week. I was crazy up till the game ended, but I want to shout my Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts, the hottest quarterback in the NFL. I want to shout out PAX East because I'm probably going, and I'm very excited to go back. And it's in May for some reason, but that's fine because this time maybe I won't slide down a hill in Boston where there's lots of hills.
PAX East is where, Shan?
It's in Boston.
Ooh.
Boston, yes. I went for a day last year to do all the Final Fantasy stuff and to bother Ben. I missed IFA by this much, and it was so embarrassing because I had a migraine. I didn't hear what name Ben said, and I said, wait, I forget what I said, but I felt embarrassed. But I was in the middle of a migraine. I wasn't going to let that stop me from being stupid. And then shout out to Well, shout out to this wonderful community. I've said every time I've seen Ben, and I'll say it, well, except the first time because we weren't really we were a community, but we weren't the first time. But this community, because, I've been in it as long as I've had this issue, as long as, my dad was more seriously ill and everything else. And I've said it in the server, I'll say it 1,000 times. Being able to do this thing once a week or once every 2 weeks was like the highlight of everything I was going through. I got interrupted a ton. I'm sure everyone remembers me running out or I was at work or whatever.
Starbucks cam,
but
we love it.
Starbucks cam.
The Starbucks
rest
scam
in peace.
has not been repeated for a while, but we look
No,
forward
because
to it.
because I told Tara I would like to be able to be home in time on Tuesdays to be here with everyone. Tara being my manager. But being able to sit through that really difficult ending with a bunch of people that I like, and Ben Starr, and he just came in to watch us suffer and then left.
Yep.
But Alex too. Alex was there, but Alex stayed. And it's been nice to have the community to go to talk to. I felt like I vented a lot, so I stopped venting in there, but to know that there were people I could talk to, sharing my win of everything that's happened this past weekend. And it's just been nice to have the community through all the stuff I was going through and after, because, it's nice to know you have a community you can go to when you need whatever, whether you want someone to listen to you or you just want to feel happy, you want to feel something. And so shout out to, Natural Six and the community, the six pack, whatever we call ourselves, Natty Sixers.
The
It's
Natty
still my
Sixers,
favorite.
yes.
Don't
No.
cancel me.
Nope.
But yeah, so shout out to them. And do I want to shout out anybody else? The whole city of Philadelphia. We're going to have so much fun on Friday. Our Valentine's Day gift from the Eagles. That's
Excellent.
it. Yeah.
Audio listeners, Mark is cosplaying.
What was he cosplaying? I was looking at myself, because I always do. Fly like an eagle to the sea.
Well, I'll start with thanking Mark very much for joining us and
Thank you for having me.
sharing some insights with us. Thank you, Harry and Shan, for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks watch party. Harry, we need to talk about the watch party.
Which
because
one?
if this continues, we're gonna have a problem. Because we
Right,
had a full house on the
Oh,
last
yeah.
watch
I
party.
need to clarify. You're talking to me, Harry, or GM Harry?
Okay. the
Mod Harry.
You the mod
Mod
Harry.
Harry.
The
Okay.
watch
Sorry, hi.
party
Yeah,
was
hello? Yeah.
full.
The watch
Yeah,
party
that's
was
one thing we
didn't
still-
say.
We did not discuss the
But
fact the watch party
that's
was
also
full.
because Ben Starr tagged the whole server
Yeah, so
earlier in the day.
we'll see how things
Good
go in
job.
the next one, but
Yeah, that was really cool.
it was very cool to have. It was full. We had as many as we could have in there.
I have thought of shoutouts now.
So shout out to the watch party. Long may it continue.
Long may she reign.
We will have, if you want to get some minis, we will have links to Mark's lovely crafted campaigns website where
In
you
the
can
description
order
below.
Natural Six minis as well as all sorts of other minis.
He's
That
still
will be
going.
in the description box below.
Yep.
Check it out. Get some stuff from Mark.
Spend more money.
And otherwise, like we have said the last few episodes, if you're here and you don't know about Natural Six already, I don't know how you would have found us and not know about
Thank you
Natural
for
Six
watching
and
this.
got all
Thank you
the
for
way
watching this
to
episode.
3 hours in.
Why did you watch me cry?
Shan, maybe you've gone viral at this point.
I would rather not. I'd rather go viral for something funny.
For something funny. please go and check out Natural Six on YouTube. If you're not on the Patreon already, what are you doing? The amount of stuff you're getting for your money there is unbelievable.
And
So
you get to help us get more Natural Six.
and I look forward to us receiving our merch, and we'll be able to show it off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And Mark, we look forward to seeing that
pleated,
lovely boy painted.
That's Dolly.
Or is that Dolly? That one?
No, that's not.
That's
Dolly,
Radiant,
no.
no?
No, earlier you said Dolly.
Oh, did he say Dolly?
I thought
before?
you. I was like, I got you. I understood.
Are you
what you
doing?
were doing.
Are you doing a Dolly as well?
I understood your joke, Mark. Don't worry about it.
I was working on Dolly, but Dolly's proving to be
Proving to be difficult.
tricky.
Well, let's hope that it isn't your whale.
Not yet.
Oh, the whale.
Yeah. And on that note, bye.